weirder every time we meet. Egregious. That's not good.
Fine. Take it back and go for binged.
There we go.
I'm sorry.
Point 1, Andrew. I think I might win today.
Go for it.
Mics are hot.
Too hot?
No. As in mics are, okay.
As in the people can hear me?
Yes.
Did they hear everything? Did they hear me get a totally awesome diss in?
Oh, no, I think I missed that. I didn't.
So we missed my super duper own of Mags here.
What?
No, Andrew.
Can we get don't deny it.
But can you respond to my question? I'm still waiting.
What question would that be?
Oh my God. See, if you haven't focused so much about my made up word, you would have heard it. How
really
do you review
me.
a whole season of a series?
How do you review a whole season of a series?
In let's say 5 minutes.
Oh, that's a good question. Because I want to do that for Halo.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to talk about finale, and I can talk about it without spoiling it.
Well, I would say you do an analysis of the full arc, and you talk about how
I'll
good
take the notes of that.
Yeah, sure. Not how good each episode is, but how it functions as a cohesive arc.
How it functions as what? Sorry?
A cohesive arc as a whole story. How every episode works together, because you like the same way you would look at an episode and say these scenes worked, these felt out of sequence.
Okay.
Or there was good payoff. You just have to sort of take instead of the 50-foot view, a 1,000-foot view, and then ask how it fits into the larger context of the whole show, how it compares to other seasons. Then you can also, you can tell a whole story of a character in a sentence or a couple of words and just say this person starts here, ends here, and that parallels this person who starts here and ends here. And it's as opposed to looking at a musical score, where you can see every instrument and how everything's interacting. That's what this would be, as opposed to looking at just your part, just the violin part in the music. That's what I would tell you to do.
No, I get it. It actually, it could work. And
Wait,
as a
what will you be reviewing?
Format of it, is it more of a video essay? Because I don't want to read it off script.
I would say, structure it and start super zoomed out and say this is where we start, this is where we end, and then you just sort of do a slow pan inward until you get to certain details that really made the season work. That's what I would tell you to do. And then at the very end, press the eject button and come back out to the 1,000-foot view. That's my inkling. Not that I've done it. That's just how I would go about it.
No, but that actually, thanks so much for that, because that makes sense.
You're
actually.
welcome. Yeah.
See, you can work with me.
I never said I couldn't work with you. You gave me a lot of really good advice before the show on streaming.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Hey, Dan. There is the face.
Hello.
Oh, what's with I keep mirroring the thing, and then the thing is.
How did you only just realize it now? I'm
No, because I flipped it earlier, and then it seems like you flipped it again.
No, well, because I think it gets flipped twice over. So what you're seeing in Zoom is correct. Right? Oh, wave your left hand. This is my left hand.
Left hand?
Yeah, see, to me, I can see it
Oh.
on the same side on your feed and the one that's going out. I'm not sure about. Just pull up like YouTube.
For
See how
me,
it
it's
looks on there.
mirrored. So the one that I see in the box is mirrored to the one I see of myself. Like, or just
Let-
tell me this way. Do I tick mirror my video or not?
I mirror mine.
Tick and tick. Tick and tick.
Wait, what are we talking about? We're talking about The Tick, the Amazon show. What's happening?
No, whether
Talking
we're
about the tick.
mirroring video or not.
I like it mirrored, but that just helps me know what I'm doing.
Well, I like a mirror too. I just don't know what is it though, which one it is. Anyway, I'll just keep it that one.
Oh, are you asking if like the difference between these?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I just can't tell on my end which one's mirrored or not.
If
I
it's
think this one's
checked,
right.
then it's mirrored, but if it's unchecked, that's the
So it's
video.
not.
If that's what
Because
you
it doesn't look like this on my end. On my end, it looks weird. Yeah. Anyway, we're
Oh,
good.
okay.
We're good. I'm sorry, guys, to bother you.
No, you're good.
Does that fix it? I'm gonna create a loop.
Thanks, Aj. That's much appreciated. That works.
All right. Now we gotta wait for me to bring it in.
I see it. Oh, he's doing the Matrix, not Matrix.
Look at that. All right. Well, it's gonna be
Nice.
too small for me to see it after that, but I'm glad we did it. And you were there, and we shared that moment.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Happy
Yeah.
Easter, people.
Happy Easter.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
celebrate that kind of thing, of course.
It was
Louisiana
Passover
cuisine.
for me. And that was a good one. That's my favorite holiday, actually.
Yeah, how was that, Andrew?
I mean, it was a very loose Seder. It was probably the loosest we've ever had. We didn't have our Haggadot. Those are the books that you read. It's basically the script for the dinner. And it's kind of like a play that you put on to educate kids about their religion. It's like but since there really aren't any little kids in our family at the moment, possibly some in the near future, which is why I don't think it'll ever be this loose again. But we had a good time, drank 4 glasses of wine as you're supposed to. And no complaints. It's a good meal. I like that holiday. How's
Nice.
Easter going?
Mine is good. I was gonna make a joke, but we're talking about religion, so I'm not gonna chance it. I'm good. We
Okay.
just been hanging out. Went to service earlier today. That was nice. And then I rushed over here. And then I think Friday, my family was dyeing eggs, doing that whole shebang. And that was
What
chaotic.
color?
Yeah. And I went away. I escaped it. Because again, I come from a very big family and I love them to death, but you easily get overstimulated. I don't know.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
What
Mag, what
color
about
did
you?
you dye eggs?
Huh?
What color did you dye eggs?
I mean, I didn't
Or-
dye any eggs this year. Yeah, I got away from it. I was like, oh, sorry.
Oh,
excuse.
you left in the process. Damn.
Yeah. Well, I had plans actually, and I didn't realize that they were doing it Friday.
Mhm.
And then until I looked at the family group chat and be like, okay, so we'll see you guys at 6. And I was like, oh no, that's
Damn.
happening. It's cool. By the way, sorry, this is kind of off topic, but have you guys ever heard of yossification?
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 No.
Rings a bell weirdly.
There's like
What is-
this trend where they would do like yassification filters, I guess, where it'd be like somebody and then they would put like tons of like makeup and glitter and this whole thing, and then they would look like a Kardashian by the end of it, like just very like pretty and type and fashionable.
Why is it called
Okay.
yassification?
Because like Yas Queen.
Is that a Kardashianism?
What?
I don't know.
It's almost like you're making it up, but I know you're
No,
not.
I'm not.
because
I'm
I've
serious.
heard
You
it.
heard this
I've
stuff.
heard, no, I've heard it before. That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
I was throwing my girlfriend her birthday party, and she's in the other room, and she's probably gonna overhear this, but it doesn't matter. So, and she was like, I was like, what theme would you want your party to be? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, just like anything, you know, like you do this or that. And she was like, you know, I want the yassification of the 60s. I was like, I don't
know. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. And she
You're
was like, kind of like
speaking
a Harry
gibberish.
Styles concert. And I was like, okay. Okay. And I was like
Okay.
texting all these people, and I had to text,
Oh
my
my
friends,
God.
and they were saying the same exact thing. And I can't really say, I don't know, dude. I have to Google it myself. And they were Googling it, and it was such a nightmare. But basically what it means is just like to take something and just make it pretty and stylish and add some glitter to it.
Right.
So that's why, if you can see, and I try to get most of it off, but I still have some eyeliner on.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what is up with your eyes? But-
Yeah. That's not hangover. That's just fashion.
I didn't want to
Just-
presume, you know.
Just fashion.
Yeah. I will say I'm not really hungover anymore at this point. Like there's just like this little grogginess, but I am okay. But that's
Love
me.
it. I mean,
And-
every day you learn something, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah. It was cool. What about you, Mags? What do you any
Well, I have a new microphone.
Aren't they wonderful? Aren't they just incredible? When you
I
get that
think
new
we should.
microphone?
We need
Let's
Brian.
do a real
Where is
let's do a real-
Brian?
Yeah.
up close episode. Really a smooth episode of Oh So Curious.
I'm so down for it. Let's just do it. We need Brian because here. Do you guys
Barnes always
remember
talking-
Yeah.
Brian always speaks like this? This up
I-
close.
But yeah, no, I'm currently searching for the name for my new equipment. I'm sure, Roland, you remember. Yes, I name my plants and my equipment. That's just a thing. And right now her name is Shore. I'm still waiting for the name to come to me. It hasn't
You've already
yet,
assigned
so-
the gender.
Yeah, it's a she
It's a she.
because she
Okay.
has a phallic shape.
Hmm.
So I'm making the whole. I'll show you.
Sorry.
And it doesn't look like my fellas.
It was very familiar. I mean, I don't know.
Let me
But
show
yeah.
you my microphone.
I think am I the only one who reacted badly to that?
That's aggressive.
I love it. Okay, now that we have that covered, yeah, if you guys have names for my microphone, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm super grateful for that. So once again, thank you, Dan. Honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's,
I love the
I've
shout outs.
actually spent an hour playing with it. I mean, recording myself and playing it back. I was just like, I sound like a radio station now. It's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, have I shown you guys my new setup now?
No, please do.
Yeah, no, let's just show it off. Let's
Yeah.
just
Hold on, let me see if I can. Let me take a
Showdown.
picture of it. And then I'll put it.
and
on
I dyed my eggs. I dyed my eggs red. I used a red onion peel. I don't know if you guys knew, like this. That's how you do it.
A red onion peel?
I don't know. What?
What about red onions?
You know, we were just talking about
Damn.
upgrades. Did we get you an Ethernet cable yet?
Sorry, am I back? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
You're back. Yeah.
Because I disconnected my internet for a sec.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Mm.
yeah, I dyed my egg red. That was it. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
But show us your upgrade, Roland. Or have you already done
Oh.
that?
Wait, I have the green screen. So you can't really see the. Hold on, let me do this. Because I was gonna show you my green screen. I was like, look at it, and then there's nothing there. So I don't know if you can see that.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I have,
Nice.
I have like a makeshift desk that I got working on. I have a blanket on the side, and then this is like one of my mementos from something.
Be
And
really, be really funny to do a whole like naked green screen episode where like
oh, just this.
yeah,
It looks like we're just
Oh.
waiting.
Wait, I'm
It's
not
like-
prepared for this. I need to turn. I'm not gonna do it. I can't
it's
do it. I have to,
an
I have to, like,
episode where it's just
press
like
a few things.
yeah, we're always in front of green screens. This is
Yeah.
the green screen. Like
Yeah.
this is
I
the
think because
background.
it's such professional equipment that it would look professional, but for some reason it just looks so amateur and terrible.
That's one of
Really?
those things where, like, early on in filmmaking, I realized like the only place where it needs to look professional is what's in the frame.
Yeah.
Everything
Yep.
else could be like janky as like F. Like, who cares? Like, and that's most of the time the case. It's like even for movies that have $1 million budgets, you're just like, just spend
Yeah.
one day on the set, and you know it's yeah. it's
I actually filmed a commercial yesterday, and
Oh.
it was
Is that the thing from on Instagram you
yeah. I
posted?
can show
You're
you that.
carrying a tray?
I was carrying laundry.
Oh.
A laundry, okay.
But like to illustrate exactly what you just said there, it's like there's so much lighting equipment and like everything is like, okay, hide behind the wall. Okay, now come out. It's like, yeah. And yet there's all this like, you know, you say your line and then gotta hide. That's
yeah.
that's
That's
That's acting.
television. That's movies. Yeah. It's like everything between what would you say, like action and cut. That needs to look good. Everything else is like, who gives a shit? You know. It's just...
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
Hey guys, so
what?
we have this thing coming up in the show. Once we start the show, we have this segment called really,
Yeah.
and I keep forgetting what you guys actually wanted to talk about. So could you just send me in our group chat,
There's
like
a
on
lot.
Signal, the
Yeah.
links, to the whatever you guys pulled up. 'Cause,
What did I say before?
Oh,
want
hey,
links?
Daniel, did you get my poster?
yeah, no, I did. I've got those.
Okay,
Those
just
are
making sure.
good. Those are
It
good.
was when my computer was glitching, so I didn't know if it went through or not.
Oh, actually, no. I pulled up the one you sent me, and then I went on Google and got a much higher resolution one. So, but no, thank you.
Hurtful, but okay.
I don't mean to offend. I'm trying to put together this intro thing. Okay, let's see.
Do you want links or just a list of stuff?
Well, if there is a link, like if you won't plan on like showing like a, I don't know, what would you say, like a website, like an article or something? You know?
Yeah. Well, here's
Other than that.
one.
Yeah.
And then let me get the other. Oh, can I also send you the video of augmented reality in the movie theater?
Yep. I'm putting together the intro for really right now. This is so much fun. Can't wait for this. It's gonna be so much fun. Sorry, I'm doing stuff and you guys can't even see it. I wish I could share my screen. Anyway, what else is happening? One of the stories that we're gonna discuss in quick hits, but I did want to kind of touch upon here, was the overhaul at DC. Like and there was an article that I pulled up this morning. It's I think in the Hollywood Reporter, which talks about in general like how Warner Brothers Discovery is kind of reorganizing itself and new leadership and all. What do you guys think about like what's going on over there and what's to
I have an
come, I suppose?
amazing comment that I'm gonna say whenever we're like rolling into it. And I'm gonna leave it at
Anyway.
that. No spoilers.
No spoilers. And Dan, you didn't see well, I will respond about the Warner Brothers stuff, but you didn't see Everything Everywhere All at Once, right?
I have not seen it. I decided to watch. What did I decide to watch?
Fantastic Beast.
Fantastic. Yes.
Was
Yeah.
it fantastic?
I have mixed opinions. I will give my review later. Let's just say I was of two minds after walking, and I had to think about it, and I was like, maybe I'm being too harsh about my opinion. But anyway,
Honestly,
let's just say
so
the
was I about Everything
experience of
Everywhere All at
watching the
Once.
movie was more interesting than the movie itself. So
Gotcha.
people talk. I'm pretty sure I was like at one point live blogging in our group chat because I was just like bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
As far as Warner Brothers goes, I'm excited about the whole thing. They seem like they're putting brand strategy first. Although that
Mhm.
article you sent about the guy's meeting with Oprah, his interview with Oprah, he was like, we can't really be creative.
Well, that was a town hall, like the whole for the entire company, I think.
Yeah, the town hall. I've
I've been
been
at like
hearing a lot.
company town halls. They're not like they're supposed to be like company events, but I tend to find they're not. Like they're more about not all of them, but like a lot of them are about sort of leadership getting message across and having everybody just be there. And it's not as much of a team thing. It's more just like here's the news. Anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna say, um, I don't think anybody disputes that like strategically running a studio as a business and prioritizing profit like that, yeah, that works for making money. um I just they're not saying anything new. They're really just saying like, we're also going to revitalize, these old superheroes. We're going to do this all again because the IPs work. And basically what we're hearing is what every new studio says, like, we have a lot, we're going to basically use it all again, and we're not going to be super creative. We're going to go for what makes the most money. So there might be some sequels, there might be some remakes, and I'm hoping that if they do reboot stuff, that it's actually novel and interesting and something we haven't seen before. But if history repeats itself, probably not.
It's like
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
trying to make
go ahead.
an old news sound exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
There's
think it's
no
a lot of it
news
has to do
just to
with
feed the media. But yeah, sorry, Dan.
yeah, no, I mean, I was just gonna say it's a lot of it has to do with at least in my opinion, I think a lot of it is they're trying to kind of separate themselves from what was there before. Like it's like a big part of what they want to differentiate. Not only that, but I think their Discovery has always operated from a creative first approach, whereas I think Warner Brothers became too much of a corporate entity, and like that became like the overwhelming direction that kind of guided everything that they did. It just got away. Like, as a creative enterprise, you have to operate in, like, Hollywood works differently than other corporate entities do. And I think that the goal now is to like start to work more like a content, because I think he keeps using this term, we're like a pure play content company or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And less, like, so their whole goal is to create content in whatever shape or form possible, and making that like your like central mission, and having that be like one mission kind of guide every part of your company, rather than in the past like parts of Time Warner would compete with each other, because it's sort of they like, for example, Disney's been doing it great for a while, where they have all these different content verticals, but none of them are directly competing against each other. They always make sure that they're all working in harmony. And then Warner Brothers and Time Warner, like in general, was not doing that for a while, and it could be counterproductive, including things like, Disney barely licenses any of its television content to other networks, but Warner Brothers Television, most of their shows don't run on like their own networks. It's we talk about things like Friends and stuff, sitcoms over the years. Ted Lasso is Warner Brothers produced. It runs on Apple TV Plus. There's room to do that stuff. Obviously, it always goes to the highest bidder. If Apple TV is going to pay more than HBO is willing to pay,
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, like
Yeah.
yes, Disney's cohesive and
Mhm.
like Marvel stuff doesn't necessarily compete with Pixar stuff. Though who knows what the future of that is like. Will we start seeing Pixar Marvel movies? I don't doubt it. I think Lightyear is probably the closest we're going to get to that, but it's a stepping stone. I actually like the idea of Warner Brothers being all kinds of different things. It's nice when not everything feels like it's a Disney production. Like even Moon Knight, the lighting and the costume design and the production, it's still, even though it's Marvel, it still feels very Disney to me. And I like the idea that Harry Potter feels different from Looney Tunes. And, like they seem like completely unrelated. I like being reminded of that. What's different about that, I'm actually the game that's coming out, Multiverses, and even Space Jam 2, the idea is like, let's get everything onto one screen at the same time.
Yeah.
which seems to be like, firing back at Disney, saying like, yeah, we can do that too. We got a lot of IP to deal with.
So you're saying that they're sort of trying to, because here's the other thing. I look at it this way, right? Like, just because Disney is doing it and they're doing it really, really well, doesn't mean it's the only way to do it, but it's also doesn't mean it's the wrong way to do it. There's nothing wrong with trying to emulate what's gotten somebody else success if it gets you success too, right? It's not.
Well,
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but it's your classic Coke and Pepsi thing. They taste very similar with, slight differences, and they have a whole line of products that parallel each other. And at a certain point, it's brand loyalty. And if there's really no difference between the two, like how then there really is no brand to it, because they're just mirroring each other. So I would say like the better move would be to totally differentiate yourself from Disney. And this would be the opportunity to do it.
Fair enough. I mean, I think that they have plenty of, and they'll have opportunities to do that. I think it's just the fact that, everything Discovery brings to the table in this like new union, if you will, between, Time Warner and Discovery. That's something that Disney doesn't have. So that right there is something unique and original. So I really do appreciate that part of it. And I think that's where a lot of their competitive advantage is going to come from. Like just when you when they combine, for example, what's Discovery Plus with HBO Max. I don't think there's any streaming service out there. I mean, Disney has National Geographic, but it's not Discovery Channel. Like the properties that Discovery Channel has, like the kind of content they have. So there will be opportunities for differentiation. I think right now a lot of what they're trying to do is, it's a lot of it right now is corporate speak to the new shareholders of this combined company. They have to kind of appease them and kind of, like this new company is incredibly leveraged. Like I talked about it last week, they have now got billions of dollars of debt from that acquisition of Warner Brothers, and they brought like tens of billions of dollars of debt with them. So what they have to do is sort of get rid of all that and then get completely in the green. So the shareholders, some of whom are coming from, there's I think 29% of the new company is owned by the same people who were Discovery shareholders. The rest are people who used to who were basically AT&T shareholders that got like 71% share in this new company. But Discovery leadership has operational control. What that basically means is Discovery runs the show now. However, it's like the shareholders are still the same people who were there for when AT&T still like ran the show.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing, is like Warner Brothers and Disney, you can sort of say there's a character to their stuff, and you kind of know it. Discovery doesn't have a character that I'm super familiar with.
Oh, you
know,
mean the
like-
Property Brothers? Not familiar with the Property Brothers?
Well, I mean, is
Chip and
that
Joanna?
is that the flavor of Discovery?
That's
Is
basically
that,
Discovery, yeah.
but is that what I'm saying? Is like, yeah, that yes, they make it, but is that the flavor of all of their content? Is that how we can expect to feel when we're watching anything that they make? That's what it comes down to, because like you feel like you're watching a Marvel movie when you're watching a Marvel movie. You feel like you're watching a Harry Potter movie when you're watching a Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
And even in animation styles, when you're watching a Fox animated adult cartoon, when you're watching Rick and Morty, they feel different.
I see what you're saying, and to that end, I think everything Discovery does is very different from everything Warner Brothers does, right? So I do think there's a lot of differentiation. I mean, it's almost jarring if you think about just the union of these two companies. They couldn't be more different because there's almost no reality TV presence at Warner Brothers, and everything Discovery is bringing to the table is
Well, I guess that's
new
my
to that
question.
company.
That's my question. Is Discovery in your mind reality TV?
Yeah, by and large, I would say. I mean, they do documentary, but there's very little stuff that
Really?
Discovery does that's like scripted programming. I mean, reality TV is technically scripted,
Max, what do you
but
think?
it's not the same as. Sorry, go ahead, Max.
It's media film studies 101. Documentary is not reality, Dan. Hello.
Well,
Come
no,
on, we were
that's
taught
but what
this
I
at
mean is
school.
Called you out.
it's not a sitcom. It's not a movie for Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. It's not HBO shows and stuff. A lot of what Discovery does is very different from a lot of what Time Warner entities like HBO, even like sports-wise. Discovery has a lot of sports rights internationally, but in the US, Discovery does basically no sports. And whereas, Turner Network Television, like Turner Networks in general, including TBS, TNT, they all have like a lot of sports rights deals and stuff. So there's not a lot of overlap is what I'm trying to say. Whereas, and I mean, that's what made Disney acquisitions good too, because when Disney bought Marvel, it didn't have anything that was Marvel-like. They didn't have anything Lucasfilm-like. They basically didn't have a lot of franchises outside of Pixar, and before Pixar, it was just Walt Disney Animation.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, they
new,
weren't.
like in that sense, there's not a lot of overlap. There's overlap in the corporate side, and they're going to probably lay off a lot of people because they'll be doubling positions and departments and stuff, and they consolidate. But that is to be expected in a lot of these mergers. So.
By the way,
creatively, I don't think there's overlap.
do you? I mean, like, I know I said like Pixar and Marvel could easily merge, especially, and it would probably start with something like The Adventures of Rocket the Raccoon, or like didn't they do a whole I Am Groot thing?
They're working on like
was
a
a
show
thing.
for Disney Plus that's called that. It's animated.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's
just,
I think
it's
is
just,
based under Marvel because Marvel Studios now has its own animations like division. They
Okay.
made the What If show, and it's all
Right.
housed under Marvel though.
It would be too easy. It would just be too easy. I was gonna ask if you think that there would, like, it seems like the perfect cash grab, but like to put Star Wars in the MCU. Do you think that would ever happen?
Absolutely not.
I
No.
don't.
No, no,
not
no.
under.
No.
Unless they got super desperate.
Not under my watch.
I think if they got super desperate, they might do it. But
Yeah.
anything
mean,
short of that, I don't think so.
All you would have to do is be like, it's not that long ago and the galaxy's not that far away, or some kind of time warp.
Did they crossbreed DC and Marvel yet? Did that happen?
DC and Marvel in the comics, they've done
In
crossovers.
comics, yeah, all the time.
What is it? The amalgam or whatever?
Okay, but
Yeah.
not in film though.
No.
Not yet.
It's never been, and it's unlikely because it's so hard to do. Because when you think about it, a lot of that comes down to who's gonna. It's like the Spider-Man deal.
Yeah.
It's revenue sharing. Who's gonna make money, where, and how much, and what percentages, and that's what always drives these things, and often into not happening at all.
I think the closest we ever got to something like that is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And like there was a crazy amount of negotiations about like whether or not Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse could appear in the same scene. And they do. And like it was a huge controversy back then.
Yeah, but they did get over it eventually, right? Like it's
Well, yeah,
or
money
am I-
always
No,
wins.
wait. Did they not? You're talking about Warner Brothers Roger Rabbit. Okay, yeah. Did that ever happen?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny, they appear in the same scene.
Yeah, it's like when they're skydiving, or not skydiving, but they're
Remember
falling.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. So it can.
It could happen.
It could. Yeah, it can happen. It's hard. Okay, so I feel like we've discussed this a lot, but we'll go a few more minutes and then we can like start the show proper. But what I wanted to ask
Sure.
you guys here was there's a couple of pieces of news that have happened recently that we have not taken the time to comment on, and that's in no particular order. Will Smith got banned for 10 years from Academy Award ceremonies. He's not, which seems, tell me like what you guys think about that. Is that too harsh? Is that not harsh enough? I mean, he already
I don't-
resigned from the Academy, so he's not going to be voting on any of the awards anymore.
I called it when it was happening on the live stream. I was like, he's gonna get back, like,
Yeah.
stripped of the Oscar and stuff.
Well, he's
So,
not getting stripped of the
No,
Oscars, though.
yeah.
Not
He's-
stripped of the Oscar, but yeah.
His membership got stripped, didn't it?
Well,
Like
he
it was announced
resigned.
But
No,
you know, they allowed him to do that just to kind of keep the face, to kind of make it show like, he's making the right step towards right direction.
Well, I don't think we should presume
it's a
that they allowed him to
publicity.
do it. Like, it could have. I don't think there. Unless we don't know there was any like level
No.
of
Even if they
coordination.
allowed him,
Yeah.
but he was like kind of tipped off long before, like, hey, this is where it's going to be. It's best for you if you just resign, because that's essentially what's going to happen most likely. So yeah, but
That's a fair
I
point.
mean, no opinion. What do you guys think? I actually don't have an opinion for that, whether it's fair or not.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
I don't
I've
care. Love it.
I've been hearing about this since it happened. I
Mm,
don't care. I don't want to hear any more about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the outcome of the Academy Awards. It's one guy, he got his award. They didn't take the award away. That's not something that I even think they need to do. It's just, it doesn't matter. It couldn't be more inconsequential. I'm tired of talking about it.
Well, what about like that, like setting a precedent for the future though? Because
You know what? In terms of setting a precedent, I think we had one already. It was called common decency, and you don't go up and slap somebody at an award show.
fair
And if
point.
somebody tries to, you have security try to stop that person.
Yeah.
I think that
And you don't let that person stay, and accept the award.
yeah,
Yeah, it was just so awkward.
but it's
Yeah.
really not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about Bruce Willis? That's like the only other thing that I had on my mind, or I have had for a while, like him retiring, because of his aphasia diagnosis. Is that like
Aphasia.
what is
Yeah.
they
Oh
call
my
that?
gosh, I was in the grocery store and you see what are those terrible
Tabloids?
tabloids? Yeah. But one of them was like, oh, his last words during his last days or something like that, like acting like he was dead. And there was like another
Nah.
one being like, oh, going through
Jesus.
his old movies. It was really weird. Everybody's treating it as he is dead and he's no longer of use anymore. It's terrible. It's very weird.
It's a little exaggerated in that sense, right? Because he isn't. Yeah, exactly. It's not like he died, but certainly,
No.
and it's not even a matter of like we have been seeing a lot of his like he's been doing movies obviously, but it's not like a lot of his
So,
movies have been movies people have been
can-
watching.
Can we
you know.
turn it into like slightly meta discussion? Because
Yeah.
relating back to also Will Smith, does that mean we like media became more insensitive to once was? like, why is everything such a big deal nowadays?
I think because nothing's going on, or they're trying to make that the news. You know, it's not it's a horrible thing for anybody to go through. Aphasia is a really scary thing.
Yeah.
The fact that we all know and love Bruce Willis and his movies, like, we care about it, but to turn it into a tabloid, to make it the front page of a, you know, it's sensationalism at its worst. And that's the world we live in right now. You know, turn it into a spectacle.
No,
So
I agree.
what's news we've seen this week that we actually care about? Other
News
side
I
of the
actually
coin.
care about.
Well, if you guys want, we can just, we roll into the show. We got a ton to do.
Yeah.
Because
Let's
that's
do it.
exactly, I think we all saw a bunch of movies, and there's stuff that we want to talk about. We have quick hits. We have all the goodies. Andrew, you wanna host for today?
Okay,
You wanna get us going on everything?
sure.
I'll do the rundown. You can do the host, and you can do everything else. Like, be the host, and all that good stuff. I'll just. I simply say that because I've
And
set up
Dan-
that shot with my video in there. So.
That's all.
But
fine.
you're gonna hijack it halfway through, Dan. It always happens. Andrew starts, and then Dan's
shots
closing
fired.
the.
Shots fired.
Just
Can't
saying.
believe
Just
it.
saying.
Wow. We haven't
Well,
even
let's
Just
see what
remember.
we haven't even
Anyway.
started the show really, and wow, okay, I see how it is.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Just saying. No hijacking. Let's all stick to our designated roles.
And on that note, I suppose it's time to start the show.
Let's start
Let's
the
start it.
show.
Do it.
All right, well, let's do this thing. Oh wait, somebody just said something. Oh, Brian is wishing us happy Easter in our group chat. I hope he's watching. He wants me to call him after this. Anyway, let's roll into the show.
Guten Morgen. It is Easter Sunday. This is an episode of Oh So Curious. I am hosting today. Dan's not going to hijack it. We just discussed that. I'm Andrew Frankel. With me, I've got Mags, Rolan, and Dan. It's a packed show. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. We all saw a movie of some sort. You're going to try and convince me to watch something, I think, at another point in the show. And yeah, we got some things to talk about. But how is everybody doing? Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. I was up late in the night because I couldn't finish quite all the prep work before midnight because I went to see a certain Wizarding World movie that I had a interesting adventure watching, let alone the movie itself. I had quite the adventure, just trying to watch the movie, let's say. But aside from that, yeah, things are good. How about you guys?
Roland, how's things in your corner of the world?
It's good. It's good. Somebody's using the bathroom next to me, so I was just laughing at the sounds. How are you, Andrew?
Important updates every day. Someone using the bathroom. This show has everything.
We need it.
I'm good. It's been a busy, hectic couple of weeks. A lot of stuff changing, but I'm enjoying life.
Nice.
Through it. Mags, what's going on?
Still in Malta. I've got a new microphone.
Yeah,
as I
heard.
keep proudly, and you're just gonna hear it for a while.
Yeah.
Because yeah, she's a beauty, and I'm really excited for today.
Yeah.
I really hope you haven't seen the films I prepped, so we'll see.
Sure. By the way, if you have a name suggestion for Mags's microphone, she's decided it's a female, and you can comment with your name suggestion, and I'm sure she'll honor it if it's really, really
I'm
good.
desperate. I'm absolutely desperate for a name. Yeah, but I'm so excited. I really, again, as I said, I really hope you haven't seen the films. But I'm calling it. I'm going to win again. So I feel like you're gonna go for my choice, or you won't, because even though you want to go, you will decide to go for someone else just to kind of not let me win.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
that could happen. You know, it's I don't know, because if you suggest something and I like it, then yeah, good on you. But the odds that I will are against you.
That's tough. Yeah.
Anyway, Dan, you want to run us through what's going to be on the show today? What's happening?
Yeah, let's do the rundown here. So let me pull up the rundown. Okay, so today we're gonna start things off with the quick hits. So that's gonna be the very first thing, and then after the quick hits, we're gonna talk about Fantastic Beasts 3. That's the movie that I went and saw. I'm the only one who saw it, but we're gonna talk about the state of the franchise. Really, that's something new. Really,
Brand new segment.
Yeah, and then what would Andrew say? An old segment that we're bringing back. And last but not least, we're gonna preview the Northmen. As well as I think The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is another movie that's coming out this week. But the Northmen, guys, that's that one. Man, that Robert Eggers, like the dude, it just keeps hitting it out of the park every time, seemingly. I can't wait to talk about.
So what do we know him from?
The Lighthouse. He did The Lighthouse. That's the other one that I really know him from. Do you guys know him from any other movie?
The
No.
Witch.
What is it?
Witch, but spelled as Vitch.
Vitch. I don't know.
The Witch. Oh yeah.
Ep24.
Yeah, it's because W didn't exist back then. That's the genuine reason why it's spelled like that.
Yeah. And Ep24 did the film we're going to discuss today. No?
Yeah.
Are we still talking about?
There's a ton of A24 films we're going to discuss today. There's of course The Northmen, which stars one of like 7 Skarsgard family members. Like they're all great actors. It blows my mind how many of them there are, and then somehow they haven't done like a family dynasty movie. Like they need to redo The Godfather, but then have like the Skarsgard family just be there, like all the brothers and the father, and then I would love to see all of them in the same movie. Yeah.
It took me years to realize that Peter Skarsgård is also related to them. Like he's married to Maggie Gyllenhaal as well. Like it was a whole thing. I did not realize that there's so many of them. I knew of 3. There's 4 now, or 5 even. They're all acting and like well-known actors. It's crazy.
Well, there was news about one of the other Skarsgård brothers who he was in It. He played the clown. He just got cast in like a different.
Bill.
Yeah, I'm a Bill boy out of all the Skarsgård.
A Bill boy?
Really?
Yeah. He's
good. He just got cast in like a different franchise. Like he's gonna lead I forget which one it is, but
he was in this movie called Villains. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's really good.
What
I know. I kind of just wanted them to be terrible.
Which Skarsgård boy are you?
Who's the guy? Wasn't one of them in Big Little Lies as the abusive husband?
Alex.
Yeah. He was great.
Alexander.
He was really good.
I'm Alexander.
My kind of guy.
I loved him.
No, he was really cool. Like did a really good job in that series.
Dan, who's your favorite?
Oh, mine? I think Stellan Skarsgård is still, to me, like, one of those. He's underrated. I mean, is Alexander Skarsgård the one in The Northmen? Is that the one he played Tarzan as well? Yeah. I mean, him and then Stellan, like, which am I right in saying that he's like the father of?
Yeah.
But they're related. Yeah, they're related. Because he's been in the MCU and he's done, other great. He's in Dune. Stellan.
Yep.
That is. Alexander Skarsgård. I mean, that guy is so underrated. I mean, I can't believe he's not. He was. Oh, you're gonna like this.
He was in True Blood. I've known him since True Blood. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Awesome, weird vampire show. Yeah.
Do you guys? My favorite Stellan Skarsgård movie. Not Stellan. Alexander Skarsgård movie. My favorite Alexander Skarsgård movie is not Tarzan. It's definitely not going to be the Northmen. I mean, it might be, but let's not presume things. But my favorite movie that he is in is Battleship. He is in Battleship.
Yeah.
He
You
plays
real
Taylor
Michael Bay
Kitsch's
guy.
brother. And
Moving on.
I love him in
Joking,
that
I'm
movie.
sorry.
I really, truly do. It's a fantastic part of that film.
Anyway, we're excited to see the Northmen, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see it. Sick. I'm excited.
I mean, it's that, and then The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I
You
want to
guys-
see that so bad. I've heard nothing but good things.
Sorry, what?
I don't know. It looks good. It looks I like Nick Cage, but it's I don't know. That the kind of meta he's already done some meta movies. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of adaptation.
Yeah.
Where he plays Charlie Kaufman. But this
Did he? Really?
yeah, that's a
Oh, wow.
good movie.
Okay. I thought it was only Jim Carrey who did.
No, that's
That
that's
was
didn't
Andy
he?
Kaufman.
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman. Fair
I'm not
enough.
gonna
Sorry,
lie.
wrong person.
Andrew has talked about this movie before, and
Yeah.
I had the same exact thoughts.
Oh no.
So it's all good.
Although I'm
Yeah.
a big fan, I like both Kaufmans. I like Andy Kaufman
Yeah.
and I like Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah.
They're
We
both
had exact same.
good dudes.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. It looks like one hell of a fun time, don't you think? Though.
Oh,
Like,
it's
like-
fantastic.
I
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts on Everywhere All at Once.
Would you like to share your thoughts?
I can share my thoughts. Yeah, sure.
We could share them
so
later too, but no, go ahead.
Later.
Oh, I thought we were talking about them now.
we can talk about
Okay.
them now.
No,
Sorry.
because
Wanna-
we're gonna be previewing next week's show down later on. But no, you can preview that preview of next
No,
week.
it's good. It's good. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
I will say the movie tries to be everything all at once. It succeeds. It is but at the same time, there were some parts of the movie I was like, this is a bad movie. And I was like, is it trying to be a bad movie in this moment? And then I
Yeah.
really liked it again. I was like, oh, that's great. And
Yeah.
there's one running gag in the movie that is kind of disposable. Or that's disposable.
No,
is wrong.
disposable is a great word for it.
But like
Yeah.
it was my favorite joke in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And it was so it hinges on the existence of existing content, which is breaking one of my main rules of like a good standalone
Yeah.
movie. But it was so silly
It was good.
and it was so heartfelt and it was so action packed and it was so stupid and it was so smart and it really was. It was meta and then it wasn't. I mean, it was like it was
It was
everything.
so self-aware.
It was
Yeah.
Feeling it,
everything
yes.
all at once.
Yeah. And do you want to, speaking of action, because we're watching another action thing simultaneously, like we're watching Moon Knight. I claim that Everything Everywhere All at Once had better action sequences than Moon Knight.
Way better.
Oh yeah.
Way
But it's
better.
like, oh,
Not to
yeah.
mention
It's
great
Anyway.
choreographed
CGI.
really well. Yeah. From
To me,
everything I've
it's the
seen
best-
of the movie. Yeah.
To me, it's the best film this year so far. This is my probably the most favorite film ever made. Like
Well, you haven't
I
seen.
messaged Andrew the moment I seen it. Not Andrew, sorry, Roland. I messaged
Yeah.
you and I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm still, yeah.
It's good. At
me.
times it feels like a Rick and Morty episode, and I wonder if they consulted
Yeah.
Yeah.
some of the
Actually,
writers
I think
there.
there's somebody. There is a connection. Hold on, let me look it up.
There's gotta
Well-
be because it was just the
Guys, I don't
whole
want to spend too much
mythology.
time on it now because we'll have like a full review for it later, and you guys can kind of
Okay,
You're right.
into it.
sorry, but it's
Okay.
an exciting film.
No,
I
I
will
know.
say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely.
What do you want to do in the meantime?
What do you? Well, we always plug our podcast. Let's maybe do that. If you can't watch us on YouTube or Twitch, you can always listen to us on Apple, Spotify, other platforms. Listen to the show. I think we post a new episode like around Wednesdays every week. So if you're not able to watch us live on the weekend, you can listen to the podcast later on. Basically, it's an audio version of the show. Just pop it on and go to the gym or you're at work, check it, listen to us talk about movies and streaming and TV and all that stuff. Yeah, that's that. Quick hits. Mags,
The quick hits.
the quick hits.
Oh no.
Let's
I
watch the
forgot about
quick
that.
hits.
Oh.
Sorry, I can't find the clip.
Oh
I
man.
It's
Totally.
okay.
Let me
It's
give you
okay.
the setup
Moving on.
again. I'm gonna
So-
stall for about 15 seconds. Here's
Yep,
me
yep.
looking at a pen, stalling as you look to find that clip. And I'm gonna say, "Oh,
Yes.
magic screen, show us the quick hits."
Time for some quick hits. Let's see what went down this week, shall we? But before we do it, let's take a minute to appreciate my brand new microphone, sponsored by D&K Global Studios. No, seriously, thank you, Dan. Much appreciated piece of equipment. I need a name for it, so let me know in the comments below. What would you like me to name it? Her name is Shore at the moment, but I don't know. I feel like I need something better. Anyway, quick hits. National Treasure films. Do we remember those with Nick Cage? Yeah, I do. I'm that old. I actually do. Okay, I seriously need to stop doing this. But if you do you remember Ben Gates' best friend, Riley Poole, played by Justin Bartha? Why are we reminiscing about this, you might ask? Well, Disney Plus is currently developing a new series set in the world of those National Treasure films, and our favorite treasure hunting tech genius is coming back. I do like Justin Bartha. I'm okay with that. Bartha is to guest star in the series, while Disney is also reportedly working on a National Treasure 3. So excited, Dan? Are we excited though? Not so much. No. We don't need another National Treasure film. I really don't think so, but moving on. Another franchise. I mean, who would have thought? Fantastic Beasts. Yeah, if you haven't quite jumped on board the Fantastic Beasts films, you're about to get another chance to return to the Wizarding World this weekend. Wizarding World. Really? We really went for that one. If you're in China, that return will be 6 minutes shorter. The Hollywood Reporter revealed this week that Warner Bros. Recently struck an agreement with Chinese authorities to cut a small chunk out of Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, that contains direct references to Grindelwald and Dumbledore's romantic past. But despite the censorship of the two characters' gay relationship, Warner Bros. Insists that the spirit of the film remains intact. Now, if you've seen the film, let us know if you agree. Yeah, seriously, let us know, because we're not going to watch that film. I mean, I won't. I know Andrew won't. I know Rolan won't. I don't think Dan will either. So we need to know, will the story play out? But actually, it's quite interesting that Dumbledore and Grindelwald are a thing. I didn't know that. That's completely news to me. Anyway, let's calm down, because now it's slightly, let's have a serious tone, because on Tuesday we learned that legendary comedian Gilbert Gottfried has passed away after a long struggle with a rare genetic muscle disorder. He was 67 at the time of his passing and is survived by his wife and 2 children. He will be missed. That is very sad. And we will be dropping an episode of Also Memorable this week, where we discuss the life and work of Gilbert Gottfried. So make sure to check that one out if you're not sure about who Gilbert Gottfried is. Last but not least, Variety revealed this week that the newly formed Warner Bros. Discovery, under the leadership of a former Discovery CEO, David Zaslav, is looking to do a major overhaul of DC Entertainment. Despite featuring some of the most popular characters of all time, including Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, DC has struggled to keep up with Marvel at the box office. And with a revolving door of executives constantly changing creative direction over the past decade, yeah, that's true. I think that's what seriously hurts the brand, and that's why they haven't been producing a really good content lately. Zaslav believes that the key to unlocking DC's potential perhaps includes into a Kevin Feige creative and strategic char of its own, or czar. Okay, big changes are coming to DC. Are you excited about them? Yeah, we are. But that's it. Them's are the quick hits. And by the way, have you been watching The Moon Knight? I mean, wow, this show keeps getting crazier every week. Does it though, Dan? Does it get crazier? But yeah, as Dan says, we've been watching and reviewing this past 3 weeks now. So ever since it came out. So yeah, have a look. Like, we're discussing it. We're having so much fun with reviewing this episode. Andrew's suffering through it. Roland's just kind of like, yeah, I love it. I'm excited. And I'm just there to slay or praise the CGI and moan about the lack of Egyptian gods or not. But yeah, it's good. It's great fun. So make sure to check this out and let us know in the comments below what you think. Like, subscribe, follow, you know, the usual. And we're signing off. And goodbye and good night. And I just want to keep speaking more words because I really enjoy using this microphone. And anyway, no, have a good night, guys. Bye. 10. It's a really 10th time. I always get to the end and then I screw it up. I mess up a line or something. Hello. Just go. I always go to the end and then I mess it up somehow.
All right. Okay, we're back. So let's talk about that was fun.
Thank you,
Nice
Dan.
quick hits.
That was fun.
Those were quick. They weren't.
I had fun.
Yeah, I think we all had fun. Let's talk about Fantastic Beasts 3. So the Wizarding World has a new movie out, and it's the third iteration of this Fantastic Beasts series. Have you? I don't think you guys. Did you? Any of you see it?
No.
No. Okay.
Have
That's
you seen any
disappointing.
of them?
No.
Have you seen any of them?
No.
No.
I saw the OGs.
Yeah,
Harry Potter movies?
Potter's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will say my friend Bailey saw it and she was like, oh my gosh, it's the greatest thing ever. And this and that. And then I looked up reviews and it wasn't all that. I saw some really bad reviews. I think she gets excited. But Dan, I mean, what do you think about it? You're really the only one that watched it, so let's.
Yeah. Does Dumbledore have some secrets?
Yeah, no, the Dumbledore definitely has some secrets. In fact, this whole movie is literally, and to that end, I think it was aptly titled because the movie is all about the secrets of Dumbledore. It's more than just his secrets, I suppose, because there's other people who have been holding those same things secret. But the ironic thing is they're not like secrets to the audience because
Can you
I feel like
spoil
these
them
movies-
because I'm not gonna watch it?
Yeah.
okay.
Are we talking about the gay relationship?
Well,
Because
not just well.
Doesn't
That's
that
part
get
of it.
called out like
That's part of
sooner?
it. I'll give you guys like a very quick review
Okay.
of what I thought, and then we can kind of discuss it. And then I think we should probably spend
Let's
a lot
do it.
more of our time talking about the state of the franchise because this
Yeah.
movie is not doing well at the box office, and I don't know how if it bodes well for the future of this series of movies at least. But okay, so here's the story of me watching this movie, right? So early in the week, my brother and sister kind of reached out to me saying, hey, actually it was my sister. She was like, I'm coming into town. You guys want to go see this movie? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? I got a little bit of time on Saturday night, and I did. So we went to see it, and we went to see it at an AMC that's basically 15 minutes away from where I live, and it's like the
Right.
one where they have Dolby Prime. They also have IMAX, but we had to go to a screening that was on digital standard format. And you know how AMC and a lot of theaters run their projectors on like a lower brightness setting because
I
they want to
didn't.
like say they want the bulbs to last longer, because if you run it at full brightness, like it will obviously, you know, not run for as long. But the problem with that becomes you lose a lot of color fidelity, a lot of like detail in the image, and this movie in particular, like half of it takes place at night, so there's a lot of dark scenes. So it doesn't help that the projector is like not like at full brightness.
Side note, I'm really tired of dark movies. I'm really like the
Yeah.
Zack Snyder stuff, the even the new Batman. I'm just like, can we let some light in? Can I see something? But I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, But that's just like those were all of my gripes just going into the movie and in the first few minutes, and then
Yeah.
things got interesting. So the like 15 minutes into the movie, I want to say, everything goes dark, and then like 5 seconds later, things like the house lights come on. So I don't know if it was a power surge or a brownout, or they had like a minor power outage, and then the generators or
Oh, you
whatever
mean
power backup came
actual
on.
light? For a
Yeah, like
second, I thought you were talking about the mood of the film goes
no,
dark.
no, no, no.
Or like, oh, okay.
The light, like the electricity in the theaters went out. I don't know
All right.
exactly what happened. It was like literally for a few seconds. Like it was like, if you fell asleep watching the movie and you woke up and you were like, wait, did the movie end? Because that's what it felt like. And then we just sat there for like, by the way, the theater was half empty. It's not a lot of people going to see this movie. But then I was like, oh my god, what the hell is going on? Because then the audio started playing, but they hadn't turned the projector on. And so we were like listening to the movie for a good 10 minutes, and then they stopped that, and then they started playing the projector, and then it was like the movie was at a point where it was out of order, and then they stopped it again. And then,
What?
a few minutes later, they finally seemed to figure it out, and they started
Get it
playing the
together,
movie,
AMC.
right? And they started playing the movie again. However,
From the
the
beginning?
house lights, well, not from the start. They got it to the point where we had left off and the lights went out. But they left the house lights on for like a good
Man.
30-40 minutes. So
Well, it was
I
a dark
spent
movie.
Huh?
It was a dark movie.
Yeah, I spent like half the movie watching it with the house lights on. I was like, what
That's
the
awful.
hell is going
That
on
really
over
takes
here?
you out of it.
It was so that took away from the experience, and the movie wasn't like it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. So there's a lot of basically,
Sliced.
I feel like the purpose of these Fantastic Beasts movies, like the reason why they exist. The first one, they were like, oh, these fun characters that are based on a book that the Harry Potter characters read. But since then, it's just been about Dumbledore. I'm like, why are you calling it Fantastic Beasts?
Because that was the only person from the original series, so they had to focus on one character in particular that was familiar, because everyone wants to know the backstory of Dumbledore, which is arguably one of like the most important characters in the Harry Potter series. And it's crazy that they've clearly tried to do a complete separate story in the first one, from what I've heard, and then now it's just about Dumbledore, because they know that's how they can get the Harry Potter audience back to get that inside look, which
that's really
doesn't
the
work
issue
still.
here, right? That's the issue, is that they're losing the Harry Potter audience. That
Right.
seems to be the big issue with this whole franchise. Is like they've invented the new word, wizarding, and there's a wizarding world, and we're trying to get out of this one story that was really compelling and really captured the imaginations of a generation, and made a ton of money. But Harry Potter, that story's ended, and they did a great job with it, and people cared about it for a really long time. This feels like a cash grab to everybody. And, we're seeing the numbers dwindle every time. And I think the most telling thing is that this movie was beaten at the box office by Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
That's sad. It actually, the one stat that I came across was that on Friday, it pulled in the least amount of money that any movie from the Wizarding World franchise, or as I like to call it, the Harry Potter franchise, ever
I think that's how
pulled
people
in.
know it.
Exactly. Like Wizarding World, like maybe they mentioned it in passing it in one of those movies, and then they were like, oh, somebody in marketing decided that was going to be the name of this franchise.
Well, that's the thing, is because they won't call it the Harry Potter franchise because he's not in it. They won't call it, from the mind of J.K. Rowling because she's controversial. Now it's just, we have this IP and we don't know what to call it, wizarding, and they hope we take it. And a lot of people aren't.
Yeah. I mean, look, on its own, if you put everything aside and you just watch this movie in a vacuum without any of its affiliations and the franchise and whatnot, it's a good movie. I mean, it's much better than the last one, but the last one was so bad you can only go up from there. So it's an improvement. It's well put together in that sense. However, I just don't feel invested in the characters. I just don't care so much. And you could tell that the like those Harry Potter movies had 600-page long books behind them, whereas
Yeah.
these movies just don't have that level of like that the material to work off of. Even though J.K. Rowling is writing the stuff, I don't know if she's writing the scripts, but she's definitely writing the stories that they're basing these movies on.
And
But there's just
and
not
as
enough
Andrew
there, you know.
and as Andrew already mentioned, controversy with J.K. Rowling as well as Johnny Depp. Like that didn't help.
Yeah.
There was like the article I shared with you guys earlier this week that it seems like this franchise is built on publicity scandals essentially. So they're
Yeah.
not having the greatest time with that too.
Well,
um,
So
Yeah.
do you think that we still need wizarding? Do you think that like
absolutely not. We've had it for 9 films.
yeah?
Is it 9?
Well, hold on.
And
I
they're
think they were-
still epic. And that's the thing.
They
They're
were 8.
timeless. Those films are timeless. You can
Yeah.
still go back to you can build so much. Believe me or not, like the train station in London, every day there is a queue of people wanting to take a picture up against the bloody wall with
Yeah.
a car trying to pass through. Every single day, everyone's like, how many tattoos of Deadly Hallows you see, on
Yeah.
people? Like, you are going to have people for Harry Potter forever and ever. So why not
Yeah.
try to do something with this franchise?
Why not move
anyway,
it forward? Why were you trying to fill
I'm down
gaps
now.
and expand upon mini monologues that were in one of the Harry Potter books that they wanted to turn into a full movie and explain? It's kind of like the Star Wars prequel stuff. Like, I'm like, let's move the story forward. Or like what Star Trek has been doing lately too. They've been doing a lot of like, they're filling the holes in the stuff that they've already explored, like other parts of. Like, why not move the story forward and explore something new? And I think that's maybe with this new Warner Brothers Discovery leadership, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna decide like, hey, you had your trilogy. Each one subsequent movie made less money and seemingly has less interest. Maybe it's time to cut the cord and do something different, because I think there's interest. The fan base is going to be there. They just probably need to try something different. Like maybe just focus on locations and other things or characters that are in the world beyond what the Harry Potter movies did, rather than going back to the era of Dumbledore's prime,
Yeah, I'd like to see a movie that's all about Gringotts Bank. Let's talk about the trolls who have really learned about banking and managing the money of the wizarding world. I'd like to see that
Trolls.
movie.
They weren't trolls.
What were they?
Goblins, you terrible person.
Goblins.
Sorry,
Ah.
it's been a while.
God.
But I would like let's get a movie about them. Let's get a Dobby standalone movie. I think that would be fun.
I love a Dobby standalone movie.
I think the world is ready
Yeah.
for the Dobby movie.
Yeah.
Let's have it. Dobby
Yeah.
movie.
Well, guys, we obviously have our opinions on this franchise. This isn't like the best thing since sliced bread. It's also a far cry from what the Harry Potter movies used to be. But we'd love to hear from you. Did you like this new Fantastic Beasts movie? Do you feel like they have more story? They leave it in a pretty open-ended, at the end of this movie, so I'm sure they can do more. But
Oh, really?
are you liking what they're doing with this, or would you like to see them try something different, like a movie on Dobby, for example? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. But right now, I mean, we're in the month of April, and the month of April is one of those months that has got a lot of new movies coming out. It feels like we're finally coming out of the pandemic and we're starting to see a lot of new films. And every week we have big hits coming in. So what we decided, or potential big hits, we'll see how well they fare. But we decided to do what we usually do with movies, and that's, create a movie eliminator, cut down the list of movies down to size, and give you a manageable list that you can tackle in a month, rather than going to check out like 100 different movies.
So what is it?
What
What
is
is
it?
it?
What is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's find out what it is. Like, we put together the list. Let's see what we picked out.
You don't have time to watch all the movies coming out this month. That's why we're gonna help you decide what not to watch. Oh So Curious presents Movie Eliminator, April 2022. Everything Everywhere All at Once, the unbearable weight of massive talent. The Bubble, You Won't Be Alone. Father Stu, The Rosemaker, We're All Going to World's Fair. To Olivia. Morbius, The Northmen, The Contractor. The Bad Guys, Charlotte, Pompo the Cinephile. Don't waste your time.
What would Andrew say?
So, what would Andrew say?
I don't even know. And we haven't even entered the hypothetical yet.
That's a fair point. Well, here's the, if you haven't seen this before, here's basically how this works. We each came up with a movie that we'd like to pitch to Andrew. We make that pitch, and then Andrew, picks one, and then we wait for his review. So without any further ado, we'll get started. And the first person who we're gonna have pitch their movie is Mags. So Max, tell us what movie you'd like to pitch to Andrew.
Okay. Dogma, 1999.
Okay.
Seen it.
Damn.
Seen it. It's pretty good. I'm a Kevin Smith fan.
Okay.
How have
And
you
that's a
seen
pretty
that
adventurous
movie?
one. Big fan of Jesus. I like that.
Yes, and obviously the god was a female.
How have you? I looked at this movie when Max sent it to me, and I'm like, what the hell is this thing? Why are so many
It's
people in
it's
this
a good
movie?
movie.
amazing.
It's a good movie. It's got Ben
I love
Affleck
it.
in it, who I don't love, but
I liked his
And Matt
character in
Damon.
Dogma.
and Matt Damon, who I also don't love, but it's
But the whole plot and
It's a
how
good
the
plot.
hell Alan Rickman made it. Like Alan Rickman's in there.
Alan Rickman's fantastic. I think
I
George
rewatched it
Carlin
the
even has
other
a cameo
day.
in it.
Yeah. Everyone's in it.
It's a good
Oh,
movie. It's a
damn.
great cast. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
My
Sorry.
backup.
Oh, you have a backup.
Yeah, she has a
Yeah,
backup.
I
Let
had
me.
to.
Look
Yeah,
at
no,
that.
we had to plan ahead for
Dan
this.
told me.
Mm.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so
Let
don't
me put
worry.
it up.
But I know you haven't seen it. Episode 1, Star Wars,
I've seen
Phantom
it.
Menace.
I saw it when it came out.
No, you
Might-
haven't. You don't like Star Wars.
I don't
You
like
have
Star
not.
Wars. But how do you think I decided I didn't like Star Wars? I saw some.
Damn. Well,
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'd watch it
I'm
again and
out.
give you know what? I could watch it again potentially because I haven't seen it since
I-
it came out. And I'm
I wanted
an
to
older,
prep,
wiser man. now.
Yeah. I just want to prep you for Obi-Wan series because we're gonna watch
Oh,
it.
You're gonna make me watch that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Dan
Well-
will. I won't. Dan will.
Oh boy.
I'm
All right.
sorry, what?
Well,
What are you saying?
Well,
Obi-Wan. Oh,
we are going to watch Obi-Wan. So
yeah,
yeah.
that is true.
Watch
We will
1,
watch
2,
Obi-Wan.
3 whilst you're at it.
Totally.
okay.
You'll be fine.
Well, let's
Anyway.
see what the other contenders have
on.
brought to the table.
Yeah. After Max struck out on 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Damn.
Kind of pathetic, if you ask me.
It is.
Oh.
It is. But
Okay.
I'll take
Roland,
my
what have you-
revenge later.
What have you got for us?
I was stumbling across this movie for Nixon 1995.
95.
Yes, it stars Sir Anthony Hopkins as Nixon, which is just
Interesting.
such an insane thing. This is a star-studded cast, which you can see in a 4.5-minute trailer on IMDb.
I
Don't know why
hate
they named that
star-studded
one trailer.
casts.
But I mean, we have Bob Hoskins as J. Edgar Hoover, Paul Sorvino. You might remember him from Goodfellas.
Mhm.
He plays Kissinger, Mary Steenburgen, Ed Harris, James Woods. There's a lot of
That is a lot of good people.
Wow.
yeah. That you just look at this boardroom and you're like, there's so many incredible people in here. Why are they in this insane Oliver Stone movie? And it just goes through
It's
the life
Oliver
of
Stone
Nixon.
as well.
Yeah,
What
it
the
just goes through the life
hell?
of Nixon from when he was a kid to the Watergate thing and Sir Anthony
Interesting.
Hopkins doing a Nixon impression.
Is it a good
Okay.
movie? Have you seen it?
Uh I saw some clips and I don't need
It
to see-
doesn't count. Come on, he's out. He's out.
What?
It
Well,
doesn't count.
He's,
Where does it
You
say
need to
I have
watch
to
a
watch this
film.
movie?
This is about.
That's the whole point of this segment is for Andrew to watch the movie. I don't
Well,
have to watch it.
here's my question: is do you think I'll like it, or are you just trying to get
I
me to
think you
watch
will
something?
enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Dan, what
Well,
do you got for
You'll get a
me?
kick out of it.
That's a good one though. I'm going to watch it too.
I'm.
It's
Roland,
Yeah.
I need to go
insane.
to you from now on. Every film recommendation, I'm like, Roland, what's
Roland's got some
on
good ones.
tonight? He's
Yeah.
a really good one.
That's an interesting choice. It's interesting.
Well,
yeah.
I was so confident with that one. I didn't even get a backup.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's how confident I was.
Nice.
Mag
here's
has
the thing,
Nobody's
two.
heard of this movie.
I've never heard of it.
Nobody
Nobody's
has.
heard of it.
No,
you know,
never.
I'm probably not since 95. It doesn't
Yeah.
get played. It doesn't get brought up.
No.
It's super
no.
obscure.
Yeah. Maybe you should have
Wow.
watched Frost Nixon too. And then there's like another Nixon documentary that came out a few years ago. There's
I'll
all
just watch it. Yeah.
there's way too
Oh,
many
wow.
Nixon movies in the world.
I know.
There's also
Maybe next
Dick.
time one of us can pitch
Yeah.
W, or
Oh,
Lincoln.
okay.
But guess
Seen
what?
Lincoln. Yeah.
My movie is not about any president. My movie is not about some Jedi in a galaxy far, far away. My movie
Oh.
is about the one and only, the
Oh, my.
great Tom Hanks, The Terminal. And
I regret to inform you, I have seen it.
oh, good.
I
Why? How?
Why and how? Again, for me to decide I don't like Tom Hanks, I've had to watch a fair amount of Tom Hanks performances. This is a charming movie in parts, but I don't care for Tom Hanks.
Oh my
And
God.
I will not
Wow.
be watching it again.
I guess
It has to be obscure. I think
doesn't
that's
have to
the.
be. Doesn't have to be. Mother wasn't obscure. That movie did very well.
Terminal
can
is
see why.
fairly obscure.
What's
feel
your
like.
backup? Terminal's
My
not
backup? I was so confident this was gonna work. I didn't really pick one.
Oh, that's
So
irresponsible.
Oh, wow.
That's
I kind of got the
irresponsible.
worst of it. It's like Mags at least had a backup, but
Yeah.
or I can always pitch you. You know what? Here's one. Let me. I actually was thinking about doing this as one of our comparison movies. But
You're gonna take him into Bollywood again?
oh yeah, no, I'm doing it.
Oh boy.
Let me see. I'm just gonna pull up the poster now. So let me pull. Okay, so right now the only contender in the running is Nixon. Oh wow.
Which sounds
did a-
appealing. I'm not gonna lie. Seems like it would be an enjoyable movie to watch.
Are you an Oliver Stone fan?
What else has Oliver Stone done?
He has made Platoon, Natural Born Killers, Born on the
Platoon's a
4th
good
of
one.
July.
You know what's funny is I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah. He did Scarface? I thought that was somebody else.
You know, I've never seen Scarface, and I've been meaning to watch that too. Maybe,
All right.
yeah. Maybe I'll become
Here's-
an Oliver Stone.
Oh, that's a different thing.
Here's the
He
backup.
worked on Scarface, but it's different. What is this?
It's a Bollywood movie. Lucky,
Of
No Time
course
for
it
Love.
is.
It takes place in I think it takes place in parts of Russia and Ukraine, and it's about there's like a civil war breaking out in one of the former Yugoslav countries, and this person's trying to get out, and the girl like she's in school and she gets trapped there. It's like high school, I think, and then this guy who's like a young military lieutenant or something, but he's in the Indian army, but like he's stationed there for some reason, and then they sort of cross paths, and then he helps to lead her out of the country, and she gets poisoned along the way, and then
You're
there's a lot of...
spoiling the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't give you anything that's really central to the plot, I suppose. All of that stuff was in the trailers, so not that you have seen the
Okay.
trailers, but
I haven't seen the trailers. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Nixon sounds the most appealing. I think I'm gonna watch
Right.
Nixon.
All right.
You won fair and square.
You
Roland.
did,
That's a
you did.
great choice.
Thank you.
And did you have a backup?
Me?
No.
Yeah. No, you said you
Oh.
didn't have a backup because
It's
you were
such
so
an
confident.
obscure movie, even
Yeah.
though it has such so many famous people in it, and I've never heard of it. I was confident. I knew my cards. I knew how to play them.
Good one.
A good hand, well played.
Damn.
well played.
Mhm.
All right. Well, next week we'll get to see, what Andrew has to say about Nixon. But let us know in the comments if you have seen any of these movies, or if you haven't, or you're interested in seeing them. Nixon sounds very interesting. I might actually find time, but realistically speaking, I won't. So let's move on. Here's some insight. We have Roland only for a limited amount of time. So what
Yeah.
we'd like to do right now is we'd love to take some of that time and talk about a movie that Roland really wants to discuss, because I think it's a fantastic film. So let's talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now this movie
So
came out. Yeah.
how about we let Roland just tell
Give
us
his
what he
take?
thinks?
Yeah.
And then
I
we
have
can
like
go
2
whenever.
minutes, and my family's like texting
for
me,
it,
so
yeah.
I gotta real quick. I've been wanting
Go
to
for
watch
it.
this movie for so long. The trailer was so compelling, and when I finally watched the movie, it paid off. This is a weird, surreal, incredible movie about a mother, trying to pick the right decision, but never seeming like she is. And it throws you into this amazing multiverse dimension of storytelling where you see silly things, serious things somehow merging into one just impactful things coming together. Andrew was mentioning before how there's this throwaway joke that would be a throwaway joke for any other movie, but they make this so emotionally compelling and you actually care about this universe, and they get more in depth. And everything about this movie was just a hit out of the park for me. I mean, what do you guys think? I know I watched this first and I was kind of ranting about it, but I finally got you guys to watch it. What do you guys think?
You pitched it so well as well to us. That's
Thank
why it was like, okay, yeah, we're watching it.
There was
Sorry,
genuine
go ahead, Andrew.
enthusiasm coming from you. I agree. The trailer actually does a really good job. It's a small cast, strangely, for such a multiverse movie that would take us into all these different universes. Jamie Lee Curtis is the big surprise.
Yeah.
They put her in all this prosthetic makeup, and it's amazing. And she really embraces the character and does a wonderful job with this really repulsive lady. But it's, like I said before, it's a movie that tries to be everything all at once.
Yeah.
And like I said before, it succeeds. It's smart, it's stupid,
That was
it's
gross.
meta, it's surface level. The talk when they did the bagel thing, that bugged me, but it's like, oh, it's even bugging me.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's where I came down on it. It's like all those things that bugged me about it. I thought, is that self-aware? Are they doing that deliberately to bug me? Because they could have been self-serious about the whole thing, which is what I was expecting. Was like, it's going to be Rick and Morty if it were completely serious, and it wasn't. It wasn't completely serious at all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good humor, and then there were some moments that really strike your heart and make you feel something. And I was like, wow, it's a ride. It's a ride for sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but everything I've heard and seen about it is people love this movie, and I want to love it.
I just want to hang on, Dan. I just want to quickly say on top of what Andrew said that, like, I completely agree with both of you, like what you guys said, but you forgot to mention that the film managed to still explore like in depth mother-daughter relationship, and then like marriage, essentially, what it takes, how it works. It was genius because not many films actually managed to do that, to stay that true to what themes families kind of take. But that's just my bit. That was probably the best part about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Roland. You changed my life, obviously, by letting me watch that film. Honestly, it's masterpiece. Yeah.
I gotta say, guys, people keep telling me the ending of this movie makes them cry, and like even people who never cry at movies like cry at the end of this movie, and that's what excites me the most. I mean, Michelle Yeoh is a superstar in her own right, but like this movie, it seems like she carries so much, and the fact that she's playing so many different characters, it blows my mind. But interesting tidbit before we let Roland go. Did you know, I don't know if you know this, but did you know that the role of her husband was originally supposed to be played by Jackie Chan?
I had a feeling.
Yeah, I mean the guy looks like Jackie Chan.
It was Jackie Chan.
Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if it was a scheduling issue or whatever the reason might have been, but ultimately, like, the actor who was gonna play, the role went to somebody else, and somebody shared. Roland, you shared a tidbit about this, didn't you? Like the person who ended up playing the role of the husband, not being Jackie Chan.
You might remember him as Short Round from the Indiana Jones 2 movie,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
and he even does this childish voice in parts of the movie where it's like, oh, that's so childish, and his name is Raymond, which really like takes it that much further. It's like, but then the contrast between the different versions. I mean,
I will say I would love to talk about this movie more, and I'm so happy you guys seen it, but I do have to go.
All right. Well, thank you again for recommending it.
Thank
right.
you, Roland.
Enjoy.
You can head out. Thanks, thanks, Roland. but Andrew, Andrew and Max, like, I know this movie is fantastic overall. Do you have anything else that you like to kind of
Yeah.
talk about specific to this film?
Yeah.
Because
There's a
I
lot.
really want to go see this movie, but I just don't have a ton of time during the week. So
Well, you went to see Fantastic Beasts over
Yeah.
that
that is
film,
true.
Dan.
I sort of
Like-
undermined myself there.
No,
but
no. You had time to see that film.
literally when the projection was out and even after the movie started playing with audio only, I was like on my phone looking at play times for everything everywhere all at once, and I was like, oh, there's another one starting in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I should just kind of walk over. They can't.
I would have if I were you.
But like that, I was there because like from my brother and sister were like, hey, this is like meant to be like a bonding like thing. Let's just go watch a movie together, and we don't yet get to do that very often. So I it would have been. And then I would have been doing it on my own. And I think this is the movie that, it's worth watching with other people and you want to have fun while doing it. And this movie has been making a ton of money. So I feel like the theater would have been mostly empty. So it would be a low
I don't
experience.
usually recommend films, like even on my socials, like I don't tell
Yeah.
people what to watch, but I had to make a story about it. I was like, just go and see this film. Like it's that good.
Yeah.
And I just quickly want to say that's the only thing I want to say about this film, that also the daughter, right, Joy, she is one of the scariest villains and main characters or protagonists, you may say. How do you define her?
Antagonist?
She freaked me out. Antagonist, there you go. But like but she's more than that. She actually wants to destroy the world, so I would say she's a villain.
I mean,
more
she
than
was in
antagonist.
Shang-Chi, right? She was like the two main, like she was Simu Liu and Awkwafina's
I don't know,
like, friend.
but she
The one at the
was
bar that
very
they keep
scary.
talking to. Yeah.
Wasn't she scary, Andrew, to you? Like,
No.
she was so
No,
unsettling.
in fact, she was one of the things that I didn't like about the movie for a long
Really?
time.
Okay.
I didn't love the performance, and then I thought, oh wait, it's because I thought like she's not striking me as evil, but she struck me as like some random girl who suddenly had a bunch of powers, and I thought maybe that's actually a better acting choice. Maybe that's actually a better directing choice, that she's not the arch evil. She's not this caricature of evil. She's a real person who just happened to stumble into some real power. And that was, like the more I think about it, the more I like it. The other thing I'll say with regard to the heart of the movie is the way it explains the universe that we're let in on is about the decisions we make in life. And your situation is a result of the decisions you make. And every time you make a different decision, you end up in a different universe. And while this character sees herself as kind of a loser, and you've not somebody you would even pass on the street and look twice at, just runs a laundromat, and like, who cares? And yet the whole movie's about her. And it's about her recognizing the greatness within her and all of the potential she has to be something. And you leave it, and she talks to this woman at the IRS, and you see like in another world, we could be in love, or in another world we're friends, or in this world we have something in common. And I love that. It wasn't a political movie at all. It really had genuine heart and real entertainment value. That's what's been missing from movies for me, and that's why I enjoyed this.
I mean, look, this is not the only movie that's coming out this year that's about the multiverse, right? Like we have multiverse. The Flash was supposed to come out this year, got moved to next year, but Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness comes out in a few weeks, and that movie, from everything we can tell from the marketing of it, couldn't be any more different than what this movie was or is. And I think that goes to show you there's obviously different ways of storytelling and doing it in ways that are satisfying in their own respectful manner. So
that'll be an interesting
can't
comparison.
wait to see this movie.
You'll enjoy it
at the very top of my list now, and to go see it in theaters.
Which one?
Everything Everywhere All at Once. We're
Okay,
still,
I thought you were talking about Doctor Strange.
no,
briefly. I was like,
I was mentioning it because it
no.
is a point of
Fair.
comparison.
It's also different universes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not a fair comparison because Everything Everywhere All at Once was made for a fraction of the budget that the Doctor Strange 2 is made for. So they're two very different kinds of movies. But I think the resourcefulness with which this movie was produced. I mean, with and the quality of cast they got. I mean,
Yeah.
the movie's probably not going to end up making his money back if the current trend at the box office continues. But it's in wide release now, and I think the word of mouth on this movie is doing wonders for it. So hopefully it will trend up from its opening weekend. I'm glad you guys loved it. I can't wait to see it myself. But right now, let's ask our audience. I mean, if you guys have seen it, or if you haven't seen it, if you want to go see it, hopefully we convinced you to do that. A24 is on a roll. We're going to be talking plenty about them, even more, I think, in the show. We've got a segment called Really coming up, and there's some more A24 stuff in there that we'd love to discuss. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, Michelle Yeoh, the lead. I mean, the rest of the cast is fantastic. The movie's out in theaters. If you have checked it out, let us know what you think about it in the comments below. But right now, what we would like to do here is preview, or actually show you our review of episode 3 of Moon Knight. We've been following this show every week. There's a new episode on Disney Plus, and episode 3 is the latest one that came out a few days ago. We did a review of it. We will continue to review the rest of the 3 episodes that will drop, but right now let's take a look at what we thought about episode 3 of Moon Knight.
This is the beginning.
Right, so Moon Knight, episode 3.
Started with me thinking, what is going on? Where are we? What's happening? And I don't think I ever really got a clear picture of what was going on and why anything is happening.
It was great. It was an episode. I'm excited to see all the Egyptian mythology coming into play. I think there's a lot to do with that.
Let me just start by saying I'm a sucker for Egyptian mythology. Anything to do with that, I am like in it completely.
It sort of feels like a wild goose chase, with a lot of details that seem to be missing for me.
However, it seemed like they brought them, for the council. They served the purpose to the story, and then they were kind of pushed to the side, which I felt like it was a missed opportunity, because there could have been so much more about, them, like the gods themselves and their avatars, how they're managing with being, avatars to the gods, and like that's what the whole story is about, the whole thing between Mark, Steven, and Khonshu, and yeah, it was a bit of a bummer.
It was really, I guess, bittersweet to see Gaspard Ulliel. I should really focus on pronunciations before I do these things, but it was awesome seeing him on screen, and I really hope he was able to see his performance before his passing, because he died recently due to a ski accident.
We had Khonshu being imprisoned, I remember that, and for what he was imprisoned, the scene where he reversed the sky back in time just to kind of see what the constellation looked like. It was very well done, and I need to say this because I always slay their CGI, but I thought that was well done. So
the hairspray budget on this show is out of control. Everybody has perfect hair that is unaffected by the elements except for a perfect gentle breeze. It's distracting. There is a distracting amount of hairspray on this show.
I found this out from a friend, that if you look at the QR code in the glass reflection, I believe in the first episode, it leads you to Tomb of Dracula number 10, which was Blade's first appearance. So maybe this is, the debut of Blade. I know it's already casted, so it'll be really interesting to see.
I don't understand why Ethan Hawke appears always at the right place, the right time, and just bringing the havoc, explaining some story. It feels like he serves as this like a plot hole device, plot filling device essentially, which I did not pick up on earlier, but now that it kind of it becomes repetitive, you can kind of see it, and it makes no sense. It's not logical why he's always there bringing all the news. So
the other objection I had here is that scene where We have, well, what do we call him? Stephen, Mark?
I'm just gonna say it. I think Steven is adorable.
He's channeling Khonshu in the pyramid to all of the other avatars, and for some reason, he's yelling the entire scene, and he's the only one yelling in the scene. Everybody else can speak at a normal volume, but Khonshu, he needs to yell.
Khonshu's voice is much better as well. They toned it down a little bit and it's not as overwhelming, and it doesn't feel as out of place as it had in the past.
I think they're hinting at Jake, which is like another personality that Mark has.
This one was at a much slower pace, it's a bit wonky. Yeah, I am not as crazy about this episode. However, I'm still looking forward to see where the story goes.
I don't know. It's interesting, and I can't wait to see where this goes.
Let's give it like 6 out of 10.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
Make my day.
I feel the need for speed.
What about mine?
Dude, what does mine say?
What about mine?
Well done!
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
This is Brazil.
Thank you.
That wasn't flying, that was falling with style.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to exit the donut.
That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you?
Nothing is over!
I found
Good job.
I'll be back.
The truth shall set you free!
Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast.
Really, really?
Really? Really?
Yeah, I put that together in a hurry, and that came out a complete mess, which I think fits the tone here.
Yeah.
Really? That's
Really?
the theme. Really? Really? What did I just do to myself? My picture is gone.
Come back, Dan.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
This is off to a
Yeah.
fantastic start.
So far, so good.
So far so good. Really, there's some ridiculous stuff that we come across every week, and I'd love to talk about it. Guys, what's up in Hollywood these days that you like to discuss?
I guess the first thing I want to talk about is Ted. They just announced that Seth MacFarlane's teddy bear movie series is turning into a series at Peacock.
that Ted.
That Ted. Yeah, that Ted.
The swearing teddy bear.
The swearing teddy bear. It was fun for the first movie. It was okay for the second movie. I don't know how you're going to turn this into a series. I'm honestly not that curious. It seems like Seth MacFarlane just kind of has a blank check to do whatever he wants. Sometimes it's fun. The Orville has some really fun stuff on it.
I can't wait for that to
Family
come
Guy.
back.
Family Guy is still on. I just watched the newer episode last night and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. But it's, the Cleveland Show came and went. American Dad, I think, is still running. And now we're going to do a live action Ted series. I just don't know what you do with it. I don't know if Mark Wahlberg's coming back, but this is something that made me look at my computer and go, really? Really?
I mean, they're doing this series for National Treasure. It's almost like they're rebooting those early 2000 films into series.
Oh, no, that's a continuation.
Series
though.
now.
I thought that was a
But-
continuation of it.
No, they're making a separate film. There's also National Treasure Film 3 coming out.
Oh, they're doing both? Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, that is true. They are
Yeah.
developing that too.
Yeah.
Too much.
Anyway.
What's next?
Well,
Nice.
there's other
What's
ridiculous
next?
stuff. Tell me about this thing with Marcel the
Marcel the show with shoes on. Right. So this was a viral video series
That looks cute. You
Did you
shared
ever-
it with us. It was
I-
cute.
did
I
you
mean,
ever-
the video is cute.
Did you ever see the original video?
No.
The original
haven't.
video is fun. It is cute. It's silly. And there's a couple little jokes, and it's like, okay, I get it. And it went viral like 10 years ago, maybe more.
Wow.
Okay. This was Jenny Slate doing a voice, and she was briefly on SNL and comes back on in comedy shows. She was in Everything Everywhere All at Once and did a great job there. But this is one joke that they're going to stretch out for 2.5 hours with all kinds of celebrity cameos, and it's just like they're teasing an infatuation and obsession with Leslie Stahl from 60 Minutes, which really just feels like a way to plug 60 Minutes. It's
there's way too much of that in there. Like,
yeah, it's like, now it's a global phenomenon. 10 years after you forgot about it, Marcel.
Let me go straight.
Yeah,
it's like getting a meme and making a feature film out of it.
Yes, that is what it is.
We truly are running out of content. What's next? Okay, we had emoji films, we had Lego, now we have memes. What's
viral
next?
video. Yeah, I'm waiting for the novelization and then film adaptation of Peanut Butter Jelly Time.
Peanut Butter Jelly Time.
So
that would be catchy. Very catchy.
Yeah,
but,
Michael
but
Bay's
hey,
gonna produce it.
Here's my contribution to Jerry Bruckheimer, the guy that you probably know from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. He produced those movies, and then he also, I think, produced the I don't know, actually, I don't think he did Transformers, but he did Pirates. And then Disney finally stopped giving him money to do more of those because they weren't doing any very well. So now he's over at Paramount, and he's gonna be producing a Beyblade movie. Have you guys ever played with Beyblade toys? Because now they're about to get a movie.
Yes, it's been some time, but
I don't know what they are.
Beyblades, they're these discs that they go into a little holster, and then there's a jagged
you pull the thing out,
and it spins, and they battle.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, fun, chaotic, really great for fourth graders. I don't think I really needed a backstory for them. I think there was an animated show for them briefly also for Beyblades. Maybe I'm making
I thought that was based on some manga or something, no?
It could be, but I can't. Man,
it's like the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff.
This is taking Transformers and sinking it so much lower. But I hope they sell a lot of Beyblades. I would love to see kids playing with that again. Better that than a fourth grader with an iPhone. Yeah. If a Beyblade distracts you for 2.5 hours with your friend, by all means, get kids playing with Beyblades again.
To be fair, but do you remember teachers used to confiscate them? Like,
because they're basically weapons.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I used to love. I had this obsession with wanting to get Beyblade toys simply because I had a lot of friends who loved them, and I just want to be a part of like, they bring their set, and then you're ripping them in, and I just want to be a part. Like, I was peer pressure, if anything. Like, today I'm like, I don't think those toys sell much anymore, at least as far as I'm aware.
After this they will. You get a 10-year-old
but I'm like, is
protagonist
anybody asking for a Beyblade movie? Like, who's looking for?
I mean, probably Beyblade.
That's fair. That's fair. But if anything, I'm like, why don't you guys take that money? I mean, Paramount is not the one who produced the first film, but Universal Pictures, please let me talk to you. Let me put myself full screen. Let me talk to you. If you're talking about ridiculous things, how about you guys? You don't have to do 200 million this time. Maybe take like 50, 100 million. But why don't you guys produce Battleship 2? I want a sequel to Battleship. Man. That
really?
could be a movie that comes out, and Taylor Kitsch could be back. He will, I know he's not in vogue these days, but at 50 million, you could probably make some of your money back. I'd love to see Battleship 2.
I actually, do you want, Dan? I want this film to come out too, because then we can stop hearing you saying how much you want to see that film.
I really do. So. I really want to see it. But
let's hope.
Battleship 2, you know what they'd have to do is they'd have to work in the updated Battleship game where like you lost and then you got splashed with water.
If you've seen the
Except-
first one, it's very
Yeah.
clever how they integrate like
And-
that whole thing into it. It's very clever how they integrate the Battleship game, board game concept. And it was like the first time I watched it, I'm like, that is so clever. And then
Does
the
it have
movie
to
had me
be-
from there?
Again, does it have to be a Battleship movie, or would you settle for any, like a Monopoly or Life or Trivial Pursuit?
I'm a
Clue,
military
or they did
sci-fi
Clue.
fan, so
Yeah.
to me, Monopoly, you are not seeing ships being blown up and guns being fired and machismo everywhere you look. Like
Sure you
that's-
are.
it's-
There's beauty pageants and free parking and Park Place.
Sure, there's that.
Too long.
I feel like if they were to
Stretched
make a
further down.
Monopoly movie, it would probably be one of those like movies that's about the story of how Monopoly the game came to exist and how it was they basically like originally the game was meant to be something far like less about capitalism and everything, and then the creator of the game sort of like had to sold the idea for very little money and doesn't get to profit off any of the stuff that the sales of the now world famous game, like board game. Like,
I don't know. I'd really like
you
to
know?
know about the Monopoly guy with the monocle. You know, that's compelling to me.
Yeah.
If we're talking
May-
board
maybe
game
they can-
movies.
How did he start it?
Where to get the
Yeah.
monocle
How
you
did
know?
he get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the
in
Scotty
some kind of a
Got the
marketing
money
meeting
for it.
in a New
Yeah.
York City, probably that's where he started. I would,
Yeah.
Damn.
There's
don't
other
think that's-
board games I'd love to see movies made out of. I don't know, like there's maybe there should be a Connect 4 movie. Is that a board game?
You know what? That's a challenge. I
Yeah.
could see them trying it with Beyblade. You could definitely.
Yeah, Beyblade is
You could
probably
definitely
easier
g-
pull. But hey, Mags, you mentioned something about Transformers. I mean, and we were talking about Mayhem last week. So what's up with that?
Yeah. So so the story is I actually didn't know what to put as like seriously or really segment, but I found this one and I thought it's just outrageous. First of all, we actually have this toy already. So we have a $750 self-transforming Optimus Prime, which came out last year. So it moves with like 27 motors, essentially servo motors. Thanks to them, the Optimus Prime can transform itself. But yes, this year they decided to do a trailer that does the same thing as Optimus Prime, and it also costs $750, which means the whole freaking toy
ridiculous.
costs $1,500. And why would they? Oh no, I'm getting into rant again. I just don't like to see things being wasted, and I think there's a potential for a lot of rich kids being like, "Daddy, I want that," and father actually buying this for a kid.
What
Oh,
bugs me
no.
about it is like all of those modular toys like Bionicles and Transformers, the idea behind them is to get kids familiar with taking things apart and putting them back together. You know, and
It's meant to be fun. It builds imagination.
Well,
Yeah,
it builds imagination, but it also teaches you skills for construction. And
exactly.
later, you start out with Bionicles and like putting little Legos together, but those same skills apply the same, like a Lego manual for putting together one of the knights or a Bionicle is literally the same as an IKEA manual for putting together furniture. These are skills you need to have later in life. This is a fun way to teach them. When you make it put itself together, you are contradicting the purpose of the toy.
But do we though? Because speaking of IKEA furniture, nowadays you can actually, for a small price, ask the delivery guys to put the thing together. That's I mean, I'm just saying that's the stage we're at right now. We can order food with a click of a button.
Yes, and in 20 years, we're gonna have IKEA furniture that's $1,500 and puts itself together. But these are skills that humans need to have. You need to be able to build things. You need to be able to understand like, oh, I can
Okay.
take it apart and fix it.
So do we think this is like a kid's toy, or because when I saw this, I thought, okay, this is for some Michael Bay fans, clearly, like
Honestly,
Oh no, they
it's-
couldn't.
adult. No,
It
Dude,
strikes
with
me as
how
more of a
complicated
collector's
those
item.
movie models were, like there's no, you can never, I don't think, like it's like if they make the Transformers from the movies in real life, I would be, oh my god, like that. Those were epic. Like I love the way they treated them in the movies and how complex their, physiology was, if you want to call it that. But I'm
Would
like,
you-
yeah,
would you
exactly. This is
buy
not like a
one?
Lego set. It's
so
basically.
wait. If they had it and it costed $700, Dan, you would be the person who would actually buy it.
I don't think I would drop $700 on something like that, but you know what the sad thing is, or not sad, but because it depends on what you like to do. But there's a lot of people out there who will drop 700 or a lot more money than that to get something like this, because there's a lot of collectors who simply that's their hobby, that's what they like to do, and power to them.
That's what this is. They're not going to
Yeah.
make a bunch of these. I'm sure there's going to be a limited run. I
Yeah.
believe they're collector's items that over time may accrue value. I can't imagine they would. I feel like these are the kinds of things that would lose value over time. But if there's really a limited run of them and only a few made, then scarcity is what drives the price up. But
Guys, I just thought of something great. Then they will end up at the pawn shop, and then we'll get to watch on Discovery, and that's how Discovery will have more content.
thank you
to
for bringing it full circle.
get out there. Like, I rest my case. This is it. We make these absurd toys. Just
Really?
that.
Oh,
Really?
is that
Really?
it for really? Is there anything else?
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
That's pretty much
That-
it. What a
that's kinda how
ridiculous
I
world we
would
live
sum
in.
up everything we just talked about.
Yeah.
Really? What? Why?
Really.
Why are we doing all of these things, from Optimus Prime to? Yeah. Okay, well, if you guys like any of this stuff, and if you are gonna go buy a Transformers toy, let us know. We would love to see how your experience is playing with this. I mean, I feel like some people who would buy it wouldn't even open
Admit
it,
to it.
right? It's like a collector's item.
Yeah, no.
I'm surprisingly intrigued by this. I might actually, nope,
So,
nope, not going there.
what did you-
$700 is
Don't
way
do
too
it.
much.
But what
Yeah.
did you guys collect? So if
Growing
it
up?
wasn't
Or what
yeah,
would
or
I?
now, do you guys collect anything?
I was collecting DVDs and Blu-rays for a while, but I was like, nah, it takes too much space, and I started running out
Wow.
of space, so now I just buy them
Mm.
digital. Yeah.
I collected mugs for a while, but now I just have an assortment of mugs. I did the Lego thing for a long time, and
Aw,
Bionicles, and those were fun. They did teach me quite a lot. And by the end, like, you don't even need the manual, because it's like I've done the 5
Yeah.
colors. By the
Yeah.
6th one, it's like put it together. Musical instruments, but that's not like a collection.
That's not really, yeah. But people used to obsessively collect things like
Yeah.
stamps and
Beanie
butterflies
Babies.
and
Which
No,
Yeah.
I
did the
I
Beanie
still
Babies
know
thing.
quite a few people who still collect a ton of stuff. It's
Really.
wow.
there's
I actually don't. I mean, I'm a
physical media,
minimalist,
action
so-
figures. Yeah.
I
Some of us-
used to collect what are they called? Like quirky kitchen appliances. So like vintage stuff. So for example,
That's
like
cool.
a antique mortar and it's called mortar and bore. I can't. It's the thing that you crush spices with. Mortar.
Oh, I wouldn't know what to call it, but I know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
one of the
Anyway.
crushing bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the pasta machine and stuff. I had a thing for that before we moved to Malta, and then now it's at my friend's storage. Yeah, it's like apart from that, no, there is like I haven't really met anyone who's collecting anything.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'm
there's
fascinated
that
to hear that.
there's a trend in lack of ownership, minimalism, if you will. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know, having things isn't what it used to be for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I have everything in the backpack. Everything.
Hey.
I will show you guys when I'm ready for my next venture. Like, we got rid of everything. I've got backpack only. And the microphone, which I'm going to carry with me everywhere.
Yeah. Hey, one last thing. I just wanted to get your quick thoughts. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this, but since we're talking about ridiculous news, recently Elon Musk has seemingly been trying to buy Twitter. So he launched like basically like a hostile takeover bid, and he's paying well under like what the current selling price of the shares is to buy the company. But his argument is he wants to do it for the betterment of the world, and it's sort of like a public service. He wouldn't want to make money off of it. And then as a result of that, and in response to it, I should say, the Twitter board passed like a poison pill kind of thing, and I don't want to call it a clause, an initiative or something. It's like a bylaw, if anything, which kind of prevents a hostile takeover from happening. But it's an ongoing thing, and I know we've talked about it before. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, so what they did is he refused to join the board because that would limit the number of shares he could have. And so now he's offering to, overpay for as many shares as he can get. If they introduced the poison pill, they asked him, like, is there a plan B? To which he smirked and said, yes, there's a plan B. So it's not over. They can do what they like. What it is doing is exposing to the world Twitter's motivations. And, before, when Jack Dorsey was in charge, they would say, Twitter's a private company, it can do what it wants. But as soon as the private ownership goes to somebody like Elon Musk, now Twitter has a problem with it. Now a lot of people on Twitter have a problem with it being run by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
It's not like whatever happens here, Twitter's not coming out of this squeaky clean. And the other telling thing is that their share price has not gone up significantly in years. Since its IPO, it's been stagnating because they haven't had any real way to monetize the platform. And with Musk offering more, he's basically saying, like, if you want out, let me buy your shares, you'll be fine. He's giving the entire company a golden parachute if they want it.
Right.
And then he also joked about turning the headquarters into a homeless shelter, which is another thing to try.
He would
that's the thing. It's like with him, you don't know when he's joking and when he's being serious, right, Mags? I mean, it's Elon Musk he could be so enigmatic sometimes, and like purposely so.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about this? I mean, we're both like sitting in the U.S. talking about this, and obviously Twitter is like an American-based company, a publicly traded American-based company, but he wants to take the company private. He wants to take over, and then he's doing it in the interest of free speech for the sake of the world. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, from the experience and from watching Elon Musk raise and stuff, like, if he wants to do it, he's going to do it. Like, he's unstoppable. So even if it's going to take him years to do it, he's probably going to do it. Yeah. And what is happening to our feed today?
Oh, yeah, no, I thought I was putting you on the full screen, and my wife
people confuse us all the time.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. That's Max. Okay.
We look alike. God, no. I hope not. Yeah, these are my thoughts. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, if you're watching, you're listening to this, and you have any thoughts on Elon Musk taking over Twitter, do you have any thoughts on, or maybe you already bought it, or you will be buying that Optimus Prime toy, or you're looking forward to that Beyblade movie, or maybe you're looking forward to the new Seth MacFarlane show on Peacock. What is it about? Ted?
Yeah.
I don't know if the world was asking for more Ted, but seems like Peacock is.
They're getting it.
Yeah, they're getting it.
Yeah.
There's also the Marcel the shell that I forgot what the rest of that is.
With shoes on.
With shoes on. Another A24 project. Let us know what you guys think about that. We'd love to get your feedback on there. Maybe you'll convince us to watch the movie about Marcel. I know the trailer was pretty convincing, but now you guys unconvinced me.
maybe you're interested in watching Nixon with me. This week.
Yeah. I'm actually legitimately intrigued because the cast alone is drawing me in. All right.
Cool.
Well, guys, something pretty sad. It's never a good thing to hear about somebody passing away. But Andrew, I know you're probably most familiar with Gilbert Gottfried's work out of the group here. So he passed away recently. Like, tell us about Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried, he was somebody who had been just a comedian in New York, and he sort of elevated beyond just being a comedian. People called him the comedian's comedian because, like, once you get to that level of performance, you can see people's tricks, and when you become the comedian's comedian, it's like you're doing something that not everybody else is. You're playing with the art form in a way that people behind the scenes can understand it, and really admire what he's doing. He's known, of course, for his voice and for, bringing this irate, shrill character to a bunch of shows, a lot of radio, a lot of television, a lot of movies. And he's the kind of character that you're always just delighted to see, and you always recognize it. And when he pops up, it was always a pleasant surprise. And he's another one in a string of comedians that was taken too soon this year. This is following the death of Bob Saget and my personal favorite, Norm Macdonald. And there's a picture going around of the three of them with Jeff Ross. That's this famous picture of the three of them after a dinner where they just had an incredible time making each other laugh. But that's that picture is becoming eerie. Anyway, Gilbert Gottfried, beloved by many, and somebody I thought deserved a fitting tribute. And this is what we gave him.
Yep.
Nicely said.
The name Gilbert Gottfried always seems to be accompanied by an echo of his unmistakable voice. His exaggerated, shrill, and deliberately grating Brooklyn accent delivered everything from the name of an insurance company to the most devious and absurdly dirty jokes with an equally iconic set of squinted eyes. As prolific a voice actor for timeless cartoons, a screen actor, and stand-up comedian, the comedian's comedian of New York City got his big break when he was tapped to join the cast of Saturday Night Live in 1980. He was a welcome guest to media in all its forms, and pleasantly surprised audiences on the radio, television, cartoons, and seamlessly transitioned into internet content and podcasts before starting Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal podcast in 2014. All the while, the famed aristocrat remained king of crude comedy delivered in a voice that somehow made dirty jokes dirtier. His unique style, endlessly imitated but never replicated, is one that shook the earth with laughter.
All right, and we're back. That was our tribute to Gilbert Gottfried, and legendary comedian recently passed away. We always love to pay our respects, and he's definitely going to be missed. But let's talk about, at this point, so let's talk about Moon Knight. Moon Knight is a show that we've been following for quite some time. It's something we were anticipating for a while, and now that the show is out, we've been reviewing it every week, and guys, we've done 3 episodes so far. Episode 4 drops in a few days on Wednesday night on Disney+. What are your thoughts about the show so far, and what are you looking forward to seeing in the next episode, episode 4?
The credits. The end credits.
Wow. Oh my god. That completely undercuts everything that I just said.
Yeah, totally. I don't like this show.
I did say that. Andrew Saffer.
Please
is correct.
explain, if I may say so. What don't you like?
I'm not compelled. You know, the storytelling is all over the place. The character stuff is all over the place. The hairspray is all over the place.
I love how you're
What's
stuck
with the
on the whole
hairspray?
hairspray situation.
It really bugs
time
me.
out.
It really
What's with
bugs
the
me.
hairspray? Can you explain the hairspray? Whose
I'm watching
hairspray?
Everybody's hair is just like stiff, and it's all like it all reflects light in one sheen. It's like everything is so over processed. It's everybody looks like they're wearing a wig, or like they're just wearing a hair helmet. It really bugs it. It really feels like television, you know, like 1990s, we're still figuring it out, like television. And it's distracting is what it is. It takes me out of it. It really makes me feel like this is a production. Like, so you have a problem with the CGI, and sometimes
not anymore.
Not
I
anymore?
praised it.
Yeah.
Like they had a really good not anymore. They had one good scene which I thought, oh wow,
With the
funny
stars,
good
yeah.
CGI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green screen.
It was
great. Good for that.
I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't like a oh my god, what a great CGI, but it was good. It wasn't a bad CGI. It was that's why I had to praise them for it. I had to say something good about CGI this week. So I did say
I mean, if I can be serious about the actual review, I do not know where the story's going. I don't know what they're trying to convey. I really feel like I'm just on a wild goose chase. I'm just as lost as Stephen, right?
Stephen
yeah.
Grant. Yeah, Stephen.
Yeah,
Grant.
yeah.
I'm not saying it in a British accent.
With his fake Cockney accent. Yeah, it's
Stephen guy.
This could have been a movie. This could have been a higher budget, better movie that I didn't have to sit through week by week.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed about how they mistreated Egyptian gods.
How they mistreated them?
They mistreated them. There's so much to Egyptian mythology. So I did say that in review, and yeah, sorry if I'm repeating myself.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that, though?
I'm a sucker for mythology. I've always been. So like Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, I would like consume it. So
is that how you got drawn into Stargate? Like, is that the connection?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah. Because, and that's why maybe I got off put as well by Stargate later on, because they went too far with certain things.
Well, they also did like other mythologies.
Which I really like that they've managed to find a way to incorporate it. Same as with I don't know, in video games, there's like this trend of bringing mythological gods nowadays.
Well, I mean, Marvel goes pretty deep into Egyptian mythology in the comics.
Yeah,
so
but they didn't do it. It's not accurate. So, or they did not explain why this particular group of gods is there. And I said, no one was really introduced. They said, oh yeah, we have gods of, you know, this person, we have Osiris. It was not enough. I would have loved if that they spend more time there, because there isn't anything like this so far. We don't have anything about Egyptian mythology. Stargate was the last thing I can think of that would touch upon that. So it was kind of a bummer for them not to dive into it a little bit more. I feel like they just, same as with Ethan or Hawke, they brought something to serve the purpose of the story without thinking about it for a second, whether it has a logical sense or not, and then they just kind of buried it. And I'm done. I promise I'm done. Yeah, it was disappointed for me this week.
No, I was just gonna say, I have a there's a theory that I've heard over the last few days about Ethan Hawke's character. I think so. If you know about the comics of Moon Knight, like the comic stories they've done and how the characters sort of been treated over the years, the character of Moon Knight has always been like, you know, the Stephen Grant or Mark Spector, whichever, you know, one is the real personality, is always sort of has suffered from some sort of dissociative identity or from some form of schizophrenia. So there's comic book stories where he thought he was the Wolverine, or he thought he was Spider-Man, or he thought his powers were derived by Egyptian gods, but they really weren't. And there's a theory going around that Ethan Hawke, like the character of Ethan Hawke, we're seeing as its own person, but ultimately they're gonna Fight Club this by episode 6, which is the season finale. And it's a mini series, so it's not getting another season. But what do you guys think that would be like a great way to go with this? Like, you know what I mean when I say they're gonna Fight Club this?
Yeah. No.
It's not gonna work. However, it could. He is appearing at the least expected moments all the time. So
I wouldn't. Here's the thing. One, the fact that we can say they're going to Fight Club it lets you already know it's cliche because it's been done a lot.
Over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second thing is, it would make perfect sense because there's no reason for that guy to appear.
And
at the right
Ethan
time
Hawke's
constantly.
character is not somebody from the comics. They made that character for the show, which is like maybe supports that theory.
Yeah. Would it blow my mind? No.
Okay, well, I mean, part of the whole thing with Fight Club was you didn't see it coming, but I guess in this case there's
with
so much
Fight
speculation.
Club, yeah. But with Fight Club, there was no reason for it to happen. For
But
this, it's
it's
like the first thing they tell you is he's schizophrenic.
That's true.
It's just gonna support the whole thing about that. It's a lousy writing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It could have been so much better. Like it had so much potential. And I think that's how I was excited for it. But I am still excited to see where it goes, just out of curiosity, but not because
I'm along for
I'm
the
dying
ride.
to see Better Call Saul. That's out now. I'm so excited to see the new
like the
season.
final season, right? Yeah.
Yes, Lalo and Kim Wexler and everything. Can't wait.
The one other thing I'm gonna point out, this is another theory. There was a reference, like a very vague reference. You had to like take a picture, I think, of a barcode or something like that from one of the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
And if you look it up, it's like a reference to Blade. And then in the comics, there's like this thing called the Midnight Suns, which includes it's like the Avengers, but like more supernatural characters. And it includes Blade and Punisher and Moon Knight and a few other characters. So we've seen Blade sort of get a bit of a cameo in Eternals. You get a voiceover from the character Blade, but I'm excited to see if they bring in one of those characters later in the show. But even if they don't, I gotta be honest, for the standard and the bar that Disney Plus Marvel shows have set, Moon Knight, I think, heads and shoulders stands above everything else that has come before. So if you're looking at it by comparison, I think Moon Knight is the best show that Marvel has done for Disney Plus so far, and that for me is what keeps bringing me back to this. So I personally am, still very excited to see more of this. And I know I'm gonna get more Egyptian mythology with Stargate sometime soon, because Amazon's gonna do something with that now that they own MGM. So even if they don't go heavy on Egyptian mythology with Moon Knight, I'm happy just to see where the story goes. Because as somebody who has been working on a movie for the longest time that's all about, somebody who's almost like a split personality, I love what they're doing here.
I'm sorry, Dan, but I'm actually, because I was stuck on this sentence where you said that it's a best series that Marvel has delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the best series for Disney.
You mean Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Like what was like? I don't think it's better than The Mandalorian. Like if that's what you're hinting at, right? But
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Because,
well. Yeah.
Or would you go that far? Because perhaps we're missing something. Because
it's hard
because maybe
we've only seen 3 out of the 6 episodes, so I can't really compare this to Mandalorian, where we've got 2 full seasons.
No, but you knew from episode 1, like, oh my God, this writing, this acting, this everything, like well thought, well planned, executed, and delivered. Whereas here it's just like a lot of great ambition and a lot and great like plans come together without any cohesive. Like,
Yeah, but I disagree with
structure.
you there because I still think if I'm comparing the first 3 episodes of the first season of Mandalorian with the first 3 episodes of Moon Knight, I think they're very close. It's almost indistinguishable to me at this point. What happens from here
That's a
onwards with episode
bold
4, 5, and 6?
claim.
At that point, maybe I'll pick one over the other, but I can't
Don't
say
you
that
think
right
the
now.
stakes
I
are
think
lower
it's
for Moon Knight in terms of producing content that people want to see? The stakes are much lower. They had to be a lot. They had to be really careful with Star Wars. People care a lot about Star Wars.
That's true.
Moon Knight is relatively unknown in comparison.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't seen The Mandalorian. I'm just not grabbed by this show. And I tried to be, but it's too disjointed. And I think, I don't know, who's it for? Maybe I'm just not the audience for it. I wonder, every time I watch
We've gone over
wonder,
this.
I know. But every time I watch this particular show, I go, would the 13-year-old version of me like this show?
Liked it, yeah.
And
maybe.
I was really into comic books back then, and I would have been into pretty much any comic book show. But there's something about, maybe I've just gotten bitter and too much of a critic, but
because
like,
you could say the same thing about you weren't the target audience for Amazing Spider-Man, and we freaking loved it.
Yeah. So it's hard to say, but right now for me, it's tiresome to get through.
It started strong, now it's kind of going flat. So I really hope, I know that you're saying it's going to pick up, but let's see. I really hope it will, because I want to know how it plays out. But
no, I personally, like I said, I am very excited to see where this goes. So I'm gonna keep looking forward to it. I know we're gonna keep reviewing it. So hopefully the show manages to change your mind in the coming weeks. But yeah, we'd love to know what you guys' thoughts are on this. I know one thing for sure. This show, it's all about finding a way to stop Amit from coming back to life. But I tell you what, this show is not about. It's not about family.
What's real? It's family.
I love it.
There you go.
Thank you for that.
I had to get that in there. I feel like I felt bummed out by you guys knocking down this show that I'm really like.
I'm sorry. I actually also felt pretty bummed out, and I'm sorry for bumming you out.
Can we actually include that in every show from now on? That's a challenge
there.
for you, Dan.
It's always here.
Anytime family comes up.
Yeah. We'll find ways to incorporate it. But we'd love to know your guys' thoughts, guys. I mean, if you have been watching the show Moon Knight, let us know what you think about it. We're going to be watching episode 4. We know that the first 4 episodes ran out to a lot of people for reviews ahead of time, but they kept 5 and 6 secret. So, maybe something big is going to happen in those 2 episodes that absolutely nobody knows about. But episode 4 is up next. And if you have been following the show and you like it, or if you don't like it, subscribe to our channel, and to follow the reviews that we're doing, and also leave us a comment. We would love to hear about, your thoughts on the show. But right now, guys, let's move on. We have to talk about something that we mentioned at the top of the show. This is a movie that's one of several movies that's coming out this upcoming week, but this movie in particular looks probably the most out there. So let's talk about The Northmen. Northmen is a movie from Robert Eggers. He is one of the most uniquely talented directors working in Hollywood today. Would you say that's a fair way to put it?
I don't know. I literally don't know about him.
He's getting the traction, yeah.
Yeah. But you guys have seen his other work, like The Lighthouse, Witch, and he's done a few other movies.
Yeah. I've been to the gala premiere in Zurich for The Lighthouse. It was awesome. And
that movie still blows my mind. I have no idea what the movie is about to a certain degree.
Love it.
You watch it and you're like, what did I just watch?
That feels like something I should watch.
For
Oh
what
man,
would
I should have
Andrew
so
say?
pitched
You
that
could-
to you. And
You
what
should
would
probably
Andrew
watch
say?
everything. Yeah,
Watch everything.
watch everything by Edgar.
Well, yeah,
It-
it sounds like I should.
Not everything, but his most famous work. Yeah.
By the way, that's not the only movie coming out this week. We obviously have brought it up before. There's a new Nick Cage movie coming out, and in this movie, Nick
Yep.
Cage is playing Nick Cage. What do you guys
Yep.
think about the unbearable weight of massive talent?
It looks fun. It looks fun. It looks like
Right?
that's gonna be worth my time at the very least.
I can't wait for that movie. That movie is one of those that you're either gonna have a really good time, or you're gonna hate the fact that you wasted all that time watching that movie. And I really
I know,
get
but
the
I'm willing
feeling
to
that
gamble. I'm willing to gamble on that one for sure.
yeah, it's now it's one of those few movies that you're willing to actually take a gamble on. And boy, I love my Nick Cage. Like that's why I'm excited for National Treasure 3. I can't wait for National Treasure 3. I always wanted a National Treasure 3. And so I was really
That's why
surprised
it
when Mags
wasn't
was
Quick
like,
Hits.
"What? What?"
That's why it wasn't a Quick Hits. Oh, Dan.
Yes, of course. I saw the news. I was
You're
like,
such
Justin
a
Bartha's
boomer,
coming back.
and I say this with love, but you're such a boomer, man.
How am I
You're
a
killing
boomer?
me.
The movie was out in 2004. It was, Nick Cage was coming off Con Air. Disney was like, "You want to do
Yeah, my
National Treasure
dad
for
got.
us?"
I remember my dad got those films out for me and my brother on DVD. You know,
Look,
That's
growing
how
up,
I think about National Treasure. Anyway,
like growing up, I wasn't the biggest fan of Disney movies at the time because like Disney's animated stuff had, they weren't really doing big animation stuff at that point in the early 2000s. So my go-to movies that were like, especially something you can watch with the rest of your family. And at that time, I'm not that old, right? I would have been like in my preteen years. So the movies that were my go-to for comfort food were things like Batman and Robin, which terrible movie, but so much fun to watch. And then, Night at the Museum. Like those movies were so much fun to watch, and National Treasure. Like those were the go-to ones. You're like, hey, you just want to watch a good movie and have a good time. You can watch those movies like 6-7 times a year, and not
no, if you
not
want to
get
have a
tired
good
of it.
time, watch Better Call Saul.
Would
Better Call
11-year-old me want to watch it though? I don't.
Oh, I see what's happening there. It's Better Call Saul is disappointing to me because I loved Breaking Bad, and I watched the first 3.5 seasons of Better Call Saul. It just started feeling like fan fiction.
That's why it's a slow burner though. That's the thing about it. You get into it, but then some of the characters are probably better constructed than the ones from in Breaking Bad, because if you watch everything from season 1 and 3, you really know their values, their stories, their back, and then you get to the the actual the actual feeling, the actual piece of them that you care for, and like what they serve to the story. I'm so sorry, it's really late and I've had a long day, and that's when you understand, wow, what a carefully constructed character that you just had to stick with it. It's massively underrated, but I would definitely watch
Maybe
it.
I'll get
if
back
I was
into it.
11 and watched Better Call Saul, I would have been the best kid ever. I think arguably because of films like that, like National Treasure, Night at the Museum, it took me so long to develop my taste in film. So no, I think those films are they were good at the time, but same as with like Ghostbusters, let's just leave it like there.
No, I
focus
can't.
on
You
right
can't leave
now.
those alone. I've been waiting for a National Treasure sequel for 12 years, so I just can't wait any longer. But you know what developed my taste in film? My taste, basically the reason why I'm doing any of this today, why I went to film school, to be honest, the biggest reason was The Dark Knight. Like that was the movie that really like convinced me, yes, I want to be a filmmaker, I want to be a storyteller.
Wow.
So No, I mean, obviously I was a fan of movies, well
Mm.
before then, but that was the movie that
But
convinced
that
me
was
to
like a
pursue
final
this as
push.
Yeah, exactly. And it was at a time when, I was in high school and you started to think about what you're going to do after high school or go to college, what you're going to study. And then The Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012, the year I graduated high school. So, those set of movies were my absolute, go-to. And even today I think The Dark Knight is the best comic book movie ever made. And The Dark Knight Rises is up there as well. And Batman Begins too. So the new Batman movie came out not that long ago, and it's dropping on HBO Max this week. So what I figured we'd do next week as part of our show is compare directly the Batman versus the Dark Knight. So in addition to talking about the unbearable weight of massive talent and the Northmen, I would really love to touch upon, the Batman and the Dark
Wait,
Knight and really put them
you
side
want
by
us
side.
to rewatch The Batman
Yeah,
and
just
watch The Dark Knight?
You got a lot
And
of homework for me. You want me to watch all that and Nixon? Oh boy.
Well, okay, so if you want to watch Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, go ahead. If you want to watch The Northman, go ahead. You can pick between those two. I don't think we all have to see both of them. I don't think it's
All
fair
right.
to ask all that of each of us. We all have stuff going on in our lives, right? But the Batman and the Dark Knight, I mean, I've watched the Dark Knight so many times at this point I basically memorized the movie. So I don't necessarily have to watch that again, but I've only seen the
I don't know if
Batman
I've seen
once, and I definitely want to see it again. And I actually missed the
Don't
first few
tease.
minutes when I went to the theater, so I want to see it right from the beginning. Yeah.
I could watch The Dark Knight. I've been meaning to.
Wait, you haven't seen the Dark Knight?
I don't know if I've seen it in its entirety.
Don't tease it, Andrew. Like, just drop it. Dan's gonna have a heart attack here with us today. So
Don't have a heart
See?
attack, Dan. Dan, wake up, Dan.
Dan, Lieutenant Dan.
If anything, you're giving me ideas for what would Andrew say, but at the same time, you are disappointing me incredibly so, and the movies
Oh my
that you have
gosh.
not seen.
Okay, I'll watch it this week and I'll compare it to The Batman, which I was disappointed with.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, with that, we've come to the end of the show. the show.
I believe so.
This has been one hell of a roller coaster ride today. But Andrew, where can the good people find us?
The good people? The good people can find us on everything from Instagram to Facebook to Twitter to ohsocurious.com and any place you get your podcasts. We are always looking at media, at entertainment, at stuff going on and seeing how it's affecting the information that's coming into our lives. And thanks for sitting down with us and listening and watching. And be sure to subscribe, share, and tell other people all about Oh So Curious and what a great little production we got going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know what we're all about here, right? We're at Oh So Curious. We're all about
family.
What's real is family.
Yep.
I'm out.
And with that, we will call it a day. And until next time,
Well played.
stay curious, friends.
See ya.
Bye.